Hey guys! Tonight we're not setting sail into the roughest waters history has to offer. No splintery pirate ships, no sunburnt sailors fighting over crumbs, and no parrots screaming reminders of poor life choices. Nope. Tonight we're drifting somewhere far quieter, far more personal, and deeply familiar to many of us. Loneliness, and why it may actually be a gift from Allah. But before we begin this gentle reflection, take a second to like the video and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy these quiet journeys into faith, meaning, and peace. No pressure at all. And leave a comment telling me where you're listening from and what time it is. Somehow, it's always 2 a.m. somewhere. And let's be honest, loneliness speaks loudest at 2 a.m. when the world is asleep and your thoughts finally stop running away from you. Now dim those lights. Turn on a fan for that soft, white noise hum. Get comfortable, wrap yourself in warmth, and maybe tuck your feet in. Not because imaginary rats are plotting anything tonight, but because comfort makes the heart feel safe enough to open. Let's pause for a moment. Have you ever wondered why loneliness finds you? Not just how it feels, but why it arrives at certain moments in life. Why it shows up when relationships fade, when noise quiets, when distractions disappear, and you're left alone with your thoughts, your questions, and your heart. Tonight, we're exploring a powerful and comforting idea from Islamic wisdom, that loneliness is not always a punishment, and it is never meaningless. Sometimes, it's an invitation. Sometimes, it's protection. Sometimes, it's Allah gently pulling you away from what distracts you, so you can finally hear what matters. We'll reflect on how prophets experienced solitude, moments of isolation that became turning points of closeness to Allah. We'll talk about how loneliness strips away illusions, clears noise, and creates space for sincerity, dua, and healing. And we'll explore how what feels like emptiness may actually be room for growth, clarity, and a deeper relationship with the one who never leaves. But don't worry, this isn't heavy, overwhelming, or judgmental. We're not rushing. We're not lecturing. We're simply sitting together in the quiet, letting the night soften our thoughts. Tonight is about reassurance, about understanding, about realizing that if you're alone right now, you are not forgotten. So settle in. Let your breathing slow. Let the weight of the day ease off your shoulders. Tonight, we uncover why your loneliness may be one of Allah's greatest gifts and how it can gently guide you back to peace. Ready? Let's begin.
Chapter 1. The Whispering Void. A vast library stretches outward in every direction, its shelves rising high into shadow. Ancient scrolls rest quietly in their places, untouched, their wisdom waiting patiently for hearts ready to listen. The room is silent, not empty, not cold, but full of a stillness that feels intentional, as though sound itself has been asked to pause. At the center of this quiet space stands a solitary figure. They do not pace, they do not rush. They simply stand, breathing slowly, aware of their own presence in the stillness. Above them, a single high window allows a narrow beam of light to pour down, illuminating floating dust motes that drift gently through the air. Each tiny particle glows for a moment, then fades back into shadow, like thoughts rising and settling again. This is the whispering void. Loneliness often feels like absence, the absence of people, of noise, of reassurance. But here, in this vast and quiet library, loneliness reveals another meaning. It becomes space. Space to hear what is usually drowned out. Space to reflect. Space to return inward. The figure looks around slowly, noticing the scrolls lining the walls. Each one represents knowledge gathered over centuries, reminders that wisdom does not always arrive through conversation or crowds, but through silence and patience. In Islamic tradition, reflection is not a weakness, it is a doorway. The Quran repeatedly invites hearts to ponder, to think, to observe, to turn inward, and upward. The stillness deepens. The dust motes continue their gentle dance in the light, moving without urgency, without resistance. The figure begins to understand that loneliness is not a punishment from Allah, nor a sign of distance. It is often a gift, a carefully chosen moment when distractions fall away and the soul is gently called to listen. Here, away from noise and expectation, the heart becomes more honest. Masks loosen, pretenses fade. The questions we avoid in company rise naturally in solitude. Who am I becoming? What truly matters? Where is my heart being guided? The library does not answer these questions aloud. It does something far more powerful. It allows them to exist without judgment. The figure feels no pressure to perform, explain, or impress. In this quiet, they are not unseen. They are noticed by the one who created silence itself. Allah is closer than we realize in moments like this. Loneliness sharpens awareness. It removes the comforting noise that often keeps us from hearing our own hearts. In this whispering void, the soul learns to rest in remembrance, to recall that Allah is Al-Qarib, the near, that even when human voices are absent, divine presence is not. The beam of light shifts slightly as time passes, brushing across the spines of ancient scrolls. The figure feels a subtle warmth, not emotional excitement, but something steadier, assurance, the kind that does not shout, but remains. This solitude is not meant to last forever, but it is meant to teach. It teaches dependence not on people alone, but on Allah. It teaches clarity instead of distraction. It teaches that companionship begins with knowing oneself before standing among others. The figure exhales, feeling lighter. Loneliness no longer feels like emptiness. It feels like an invitation to reflect, to remember, to realign. A pause written into life by divine wisdom. In this vast library, surrounded by silent knowledge and gentle light, the soul realizes something profound. Allah sometimes removes the crowd so He can speak to the heart. And in the whispering void, those who listen discover that they were never truly alone. They were simply being invited closer. The dust motes continue to dance. The light remains steady, and the silence holds its meaning, patiently, mercifully, lovingly. Chapter 2. The Bridge of Expression. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, we're setting sail on a journey more whimsical than a goat trying to climb a staircase. Picture this. The year is 625 CE, and you're nestled in the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, where the winds of change are blowing stronger than Aunt Fatima's perfume on Eid. We find ourselves observing an exquisite calligrapher in a workshop, where his ink, darker than the bottom of a coffee pot after a long day, flows onto the parchment like a river of dreams. It's a vibrant era, filled with creativity and connection, and, dare I say, a bit of chaos, even more chaotic than a family reunion when everyone forgets to bring a dish. Now, let's dive into some questions that might tickle your curiosity as we traverse this splendid time. Have you ever tried writing your grocery list on a piece of art paper? Or perhaps you've attempted to doodle during a very serious meeting instead of paying attention? What if, instead of simple lists, you transformed everyday tasks into creative masterpieces? Imagine a shopping list that looks so beautiful your family believes it belongs in a museum rather than the fridge. Congratulations! You've just woken up in 625 CE, where the echoes of history play like your favorite song on repeat, and you find yourself in the workshop of our talented artist, a maestro not just of colors but of connections, bridging cultures through the intricate dance of calligraphy. He's preparing to inscribe verses from the Quran, each stroke a sacred whisper merging the arts of the heart and spirit. As you walk through the workshop, the scent of fresh ink hangs in the air, mingling with the tantalizing fragrance of spices being sold nearby. It's as if the universe decided to throw a sensory fiesta in your honor. The workshop buzzes with energy,
akin to a hen-pecking competition in the middle of a Sunday picnic. But here, every squawk and flutter serves a purpose, helping to transform words into wings. Our artist, with fingers stretched and ink stained, flutters around the room like a butterfly caught in an updraft, each movement deliberate and graceful. With precision reminiscent of Grandma's perfect pie crust, he begins his composition. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. As his brush glides across the page, something extraordinary happens. Each word sprouts wings, fluttering off the parchment and soaring out of the window, as if the verses themselves were eager to share their divine wisdom with the world outside. Now, wouldn't it be something to see those words take flight, soaring like birds in unison towards distant shores? Picture a flock of white doves, ink-stained with compassion, delivering messages of love and unity. Isn't it funny how the artist doesn't just create art? He conjures dreams, lifting the hearts and spirits of the onlookers as if they were attending an open-air concert. As the verses metamorphose into birds, they begin to bridge two cultures living in close proximity, yet separated by walls of misunderstanding. Vibrant colors mingling like old friends rediscovering a shared laugh. A Persian merchant observes the spectacle, scratching his head in delight. "If only my goods had such wings, I'd no longer need to carry them on my back. Talk about a workout." You chuckle softly at the merchant's playful longing, realizing how art can communicate in ways words sometimes cannot. Creativity has a unique power. It transcends barriers and stitches together the gaps in our shared humanity. Much like that threadbare scarf your aunt has kept since the 90s, somehow surviving despite questionable fashion choices. People gather around, their faces alight with wonder, like children watching a magician's tricks unfold. They share languages, stories, and laughter, uniting in admiration of the art's ability to inspire consciousness and conversation. Just think about it. A single brushstroke can spark debates that ripple through the hearts of generations. As the sun dips lower in the sky, casting a golden hue like freshly poured honey over the scene, the art isn't merely a spectacle. It transforms into a meditative experience. The artist smiles quietly, aware that within his strokes lies a connection not only between lands, but among hearts, an interwoven tapestry of faith and creativity. "Imagine if my chickens could write," he muses to himself cheekily. "I dare say they'd win an award for their poetry. Fried chicken and verses flying high." The birds, carrying the artist's words, soar above the market, seeking souls yearning for inspiration. They land in different corners, nestled in the hearts of those eager to learn, igniting a flame of curiosity and faith. Within moments, the very workshop you sit in has become a sanctuary of creativity and love. And therein lies the beauty, dear friends. Being lonely isn't a curse, but an invitation, an open door to gifting the world your unique artistry, just like our marvelous calligrapher. It dawns upon you that solitude might not be such a villain after all. It could be a comforting companion, whispering, "Go on, let your creativity take flight." As you lay back, drifting slowly off to sleep amid the dreams of ink and air, may you take with you the warmth of this wondrous evening. Remember that sometimes your words and expressions could spread their wings, just like the artist's verses, creating bridges of understanding in a world that often feels adrift. And so, dear friends, we've traversed a world where creativity connects souls across dimensions, transforming solitude into a journey of discovery. Each brushstroke reminds us that our interior dialogues, often perceived as loneliness, might just be the spark for artistry that reaches beyond our wildest dreams. If tonight's voyage filled your heart and spirit with a touch of creative magic, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Like this video if our escapades made you chuckle, and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoyed this enchanting adventure.
May your dreams be as vivid as the colors of the artist's mural, and may every quiet moment remind you of the gifts Allah has woven into your life. Until we meet again on these celestial journeys, sweet dreams, and may creativity whisper to you even in your sleep. Chapter 3. The Night Sky Guide. You find yourself standing in a vast expanse of desert, bathed in the silvery glow of a radiant moon. The cooling night air kisses your skin, bringing a sense of serenity that drowns out the chaos of your modern life. You take a deep breath, inhaling the crisp desert breeze, a blend of dry sand and the faint, intoxicating scent of wild sage carried softly on the wind. Above, the Milky Way sprawls across the heavens like a glorious roadmap to the divine, sparkling brilliantly as if to say, "Hey, aren't you glad you couldn't sleep? Look at this." In this moment of midnight tranquility, you can't help but feel a stirring in your heart, just like the early inhabitants of this vast land did. You wonder, what would they have thought gazing up at this spectacular night sky? Did the stars feel like guides, or were they just shiny rocks littering an endless carpet of darkness? Now, allow me to whisk you away into their lives during the prophetic era, between the years 610 and 632 CE. Picture yourself as a traveler, a little lost in thought, perhaps more than a bit bewildered, standing barefoot on warm sand that has transformed into a cooling quilt. A scorpion scuttles by and, yikes, suddenly you're reminded that nature has a sense of humor, even when you'd prefer a bit of silence and solitude. Now, these early Muslims lived a life vastly different from your own life. No smartphones, no cozy coffee shops with Wi-Fi to browse online memes of cats wearing tiny hats. No, the loneliness you feel might have seemed like an odd little gift from Allah, an opportunity to connect intimately with the divine, just as it was for the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Imagine him moments before the revelation, pondering under those very same stars, feeling the weight of his mission and the solitude of his heart. Ever think about how many times he faced the dark desert nights, just like you're facing right now? Much like you, perhaps leaning towards philosophical musings, or feeling that urge to ask the universe, "Hey God, what's the deal with all this loneliness?" As you stand there, surrounded by the stillness of the desert, let's focus on that feeling lingering in your chest. Yes, the one that almost feels too heavy to carry. You wonder if the people of that time ever felt something similar. Isn't it comforting to know that great souls have wrestled with similar burdens throughout history? Did they ever look up at the stars, the same ones twinkling down on you now, and marvel at the realization that amid the vast and terrifying universe, they were nevertheless significantly cherished by a creator? If only they could see the world today. Would they shake their heads at our concerns about getting late to work? Would they roll their eyes at our complaints about poor Wi-Fi signals? "Oh, but my dear friends," they'd say, "we discovered how to truly connect beyond mere signals. We found our link to the divine." You can almost hear them chuckling among the sand dunes under that magnificent sky. So, let's dive in, shall we? You're standing there, a traveler amid the starry canvas. What are you feeling right now, besides a slight chill that gives you goosebumps? Are you fighting the urge to scroll through your imaginary Instagram feed, wishing for flashy pictures of your friends gallivanting through the cities? Aren't you glad you're denying that temptation? Because in solitude, we find that the stars shine brightest, not just above you in the sky, but also within your own heart. Think about it. Allah designed these moments of solitude as gifts, inviting deeper reflection, connection, and growth. The stars are not just balls of gas, but divine reminders of beauty, hope, and guidance. Even in loneliness, there can be solace, a soft whisper from the heavens when everything feels too heavy, a cosmic pat on the back saying, "Hey, you got this." And when you feel the weight of the world settling on your shoulders, remember, you're walking a path traveled by prophets and sages navigating their own desert nights. No one ever said it would be easy, but oh, that clarity comes swiftly, doesn't it?
Just as you gaze upon those stars now shining fiercely above, you realize solitude is but an invitation to unveil the divine hidden within oneself. So take a moment to enkindle that connection, relish the cool desert breeze, and remember, in your loneliness lies the potential for enlightenment, and perhaps, just perhaps, a deeper understanding of why those stars are still twinkling, and why you, my friend, are exactly where you need to be. And who knows? Tomorrow might bring new connections, laughter echoing through the air, or even that funny little chat with your neighbor, bless his heart, trying to get his goats to take a bath again. Yes, even goats can't escape the divine beauty of the stars or the burdensome nature of loneliness. But for tonight, rejoice in the glow of the universe. Claim your solitude as a most cherished gift, and drift into dreams warmed by starlight.
Chapter 4. The Inner Landscape. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Buckle up, because tonight we're diving deeper into something more illuminating than your last family dinner discussions about politics. The inner workings of your heart, as we explore the idea that your loneliness is actually a divine gift from Allah. In a world buzzing with notifications and viral TikTok dances, it sounds absurd to call loneliness a gift, right? Picture yourself sitting in a lush, vibrant garden, one that's not exactly on Google Maps, but it exists in the realms of your imagination. Picture towering palm trees, lush with dates just waiting to be plucked. And those joyful birds? Oh, they're chirping sweet nothings of wisdom, ensuring it's never a dull moment. But before we float into the realms of your inner landscape, can I ask you, have you ever felt like that cactus on your friend's windowsill, stuck but somehow feeling sharp? Or like that lone sock always lost in the laundry? Have you ever wondered if everyone else is just better at the game of social interactions, while you're left playing checkers with no idea of the rules? Believe me, you're not alone. In the early days of Islam, between 610 CE and 632 CE, long before the age of double taps and comment sections, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was no stranger to the feeling of isolation. Don't you wonder what it was like for him contemplating profound revelations under the serene canopy of stars, sitting on a rock and thinking, why is everyone staring at me like I just asked them to decipher hieroglyphs or something? Ah, the weight of purpose coupled with solitude. Imagine the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sitting there in his moment of reflection. The desert breeze wraps around him, cool yet filled with a sense of eternal possibility. The solitude he encountered allowed him to converse with the Creator and uncover layers of insight that thrummed like a heartbeat against the vast night sky. Picture his heart glowing with a warm, golden aura, sending roots deep into that mystical garden of spirituality. Let's take a moment to conjure up that glow, shall we? As you imagine your own heart softly radiating warmth, think about the many times you felt isolated, like a lone warrior on a quest. That stillness, isn't it a bit like trying to decipher a riddle written by a mischievous 7-year-old? You scratch your head, unsure whether you should proceed with caution or just go with it and hope for the best. You see, that heartfelt glow symbolizes hidden strengths, praying in the quiet corners of your soul, waiting for the moment to sprout like a date palm from a seed. In those moments of solitude, just like the early Muslims, you uncover profound wisdom. They're like notes from the universe, gently nudging you to pay attention. Got a little leaf of thought growing? Now, let's swirl our imagination again. You're not just sitting there, heart aglow, but you're rooted in this ethereal garden, absorbing nutrients from the soil of your solitude. Ah, can you feel the vibrations of growth? That's the divine suggesting, hey you, yes, you've got potential. But wait, let's sneak in some humor here. Do you think if the folk from 610 CE faced a typical day in today's world, they'd roll their eyes at our problems? You can almost hear them saying, what's that? You're feeling lonely because you only got 4 likes on your latest selfie?
Back in our day, we'd gather under the shade of an acacia tree and contemplate the stars without needing Wi-Fi. This is where our journey intertwines with the beauty of embracing solitude. As you breathe in the serenity, think about moments where the comforting presence of Allah envelops you, whispering, "In solitude lies a gift, a treasure hunt for your soul." Each ripple of that golden light in your heart serves as a reminder that your loneliness has a purpose too. It's not just a dark corner, it's a spiritual trampoline, bouncing you closer towards self-discovery and enlightenment. And let's not forget about self-reflection. For instance, when was the last time you stood in silence, maybe accompanied by the soft sound of desert whispers, or even the echoes of your thoughts, and pondered the big questions, like what to eat for breakfast, or better yet, whether it's truly necessary to fold laundry only to see it unfold again when the kids run through the house like a whirlwind? This divine opportunity, chiseled out of solitude, prepares your heart to embrace the entire spectrum of life's experiences: joy, sadness, love, and yes, even that awkward moment when you tell someone, you can't find the, words while speaking. In your wilderness of loneliness lies the hidden path to growth and enlightenment, much like that peculiar seed planted deep in the soil. Tonight, allow that curious heart of yours to discover the lush garden growing within, a sanctuary filled with revelations and whispers from Allah, waiting to be unearthed. Remember, my friend, each moment of solitude transforms you into a stronger version of yourself, akin to a date palm growing resilient and tall, even in the face of a dry desert breeze. So, as you slip into murmurous dreams wrapped in the warmth of starlight, recall this: your loneliness is not merely an empty void, but a bridge connecting your soul with the divine. Let's take time to nurture that inner glow and prepare ourselves to understand why, in solitude, you may just discover the most beautiful essence of what it means to be connected with Allah. May you carry this warm, golden light into your dreams, lighting the path towards self-discovery, growth, and a treasure trove of wisdom waiting for you. Drift into slumber and know, your journey has just begun. As we gently close this chapter, may you hold on to the warmth of your heart and the garden you've nourished within. Each night is an opportunity to discover the unseen depths of your soul, a reminder that even in loneliness, there lies a connection to the divine. If this soothing journey resonated, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below, but only if you truly enjoyed it. Each appreciation is like a soft whisper of gratitude sent back into the universe. Until we meet again beneath the stars in the glow of your golden heart, sleep well. Remember, even in the quietest moments, Allah is ever near. Sweet dreams. Chapter 5. The Sacred Connection. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, we're going to meander through the desert sands of time, all the way back to revelations of the Quran in the early 7th century. So throw on your coolest pair of sandals, no, not the ones with the holes, and let's learn why loneliness might just be the VIP pass to a divine connection you never knew you had. Now, speaking of loneliness, ever felt like you're queuing for a party that seems eternally delayed while everyone else is dancing to their own tunes? Or how about when you're at a family gathering and your cousin is sharing a riveting story about their cat's adventurous trip to the vet, while you're just standing there thinking, is this really what life has come to? Do you ever find yourself in deep philosophical reflections, contemplating life like a cactus in a desert? Or perhaps wondering if the only thing worse than an awkward silence is accidentally liking an old Instagram photo from 2008 on someone's feed? Congratulations! You've just woken up in 610 CE, the very year when Allah decided to start a conversation with humanity through Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Imagine the sun rising golden over the sandy dunes of Mecca, while you're trying to figure out how to navigate your day without Google Maps or a smartphone. You're not lost, just momentarily disconnected from what everyone else seems to be enjoying. Now picture yourself by a warm, flickering fire,
surrounded by the desert's starry cloak. There's our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, deep in thought, contemplating truths that would shake the very core of human understanding. You can almost hear him muttering, "Why am I pondering life's mysteries under this star-speckled sky, while others are busy chasing sheep?" Now close your eyes and envision a close-up of your own face, serene and tranquil, just like there's a glowing vein pulsing softly in your neck. This pulsating light represents the Quranic verse reminding us that Allah is closer than our jugular vein. Even in solitude, you're never truly alone. Arguably, that desert air is even more refreshing than any overpriced essential oils sold at the local bazaar. You might be thinking, what's the deal with that connection? Well, let's talk about it. That glow, the very essence of your soul, isn't just a hint at your physical presence. It's a divine connection to an infinite source. Imagine Allah whispering sweet nothings to your heart, urging you to reflect, to yearn for understanding, while your heart swells in anticipation. It's almost as if he's saying, "Hey buddy, lean into your loneliness. It's not just a sad moment, but the cradle of your spiritual awakening." Yes, just like how the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to retreat into the cave of Hira for solitude, nurturing his thoughts free from the noise of societal expectations. Here, contemplated the profound revelations that would eventually change the course of history. Can you picture him, lost in thought, while the gentle desert winds swirl around him, making it feel like nature itself is trying to lean in, eavesdropping on this conversation with the divine? In those moments of silence, when the world holds its breath, you unlock layers of wisdom that dance delicately, like the soft blooms upon a cactus. Each moment of quiet brings forth a treasure of insight, reminding you that there's beauty in this stillness. You might even think of solitude as your one-way ticket to the divine comedy club, where laughter, joy, and reflection mingle effortlessly. Let's keep riding this wave of imaginary exploration. Imagine what it was like for early Muslims gathering under olive trees, exchanging stories of faith and trials, much like the modern-day coffee shop conversations, without the overpriced avocado toast, of course. In fact, if you plunked them down in a modern-day cafe, they might chuckle. What's with all this fuss about screens? Back in our day, we used the stars. The beauty of their simplicity might just leave you longing to dig deeper into your own soul, uncovering the golden wisdom that lies deep within. You see, dear friends, your loneliness is not just a tragic tale. It's a unique pragmatism of longing. Like a fig tree quietly bearing fruit in a drought, that solitude nurtures your heart's yearning for divine connection. The truth is, just as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, found strength in his moments of quiet, so too can you find your inner oasis of revelation when you embrace solitude. So, as you nestle deeper into your cozy blankets tonight, remember that every moment of loneliness can be transformed into a sacred dialogue with Allah. Let that glowing connection warm you, like the sun gently leading the night away, reminding you that, even when you feel alone, you're just a heartbeat away from the divine. Shifting your thoughts into this magical realm of connection and reflection, you might find that your loneliness is the key, your quiet heart the door. The door to understanding the profound gift Allah has blessed you with. It's time to snuggle into this revelation and let those golden lights guide you into a restful slumber, enveloping you in whispers of divine wisdom and tranquility. As we draw this chapter to a gentle close, may the warmth of connection and the echo of that divine whisper linger in your heart. Remember, each moment spent in solitude is a step on a sacred path illuminated by Allah's light. If this journey through realms of solitude and divine connection warmed your heart, consider sharing a little love by liking, subscribing, and maybe leaving a comment. Only if it tickled your fancy, of course. May your dreams be filled with that golden light, guiding you towards deeper understanding and unwavering peace. Sleep well, dear friends, and know that you are watched over, never truly alone, but forever connected to the divine. Sweet dreams. Chapter 6. The Spiritual Journal. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, we journey to a time more inspiring than a motivational poster on a coffee shop wall. Picture this: the sacred sands of 7th century Arabia, where everyone is as confused about social media as the last time you tried explaining TikTok to your parents. We're diving into an era brimming with spiritual awakenings and divine revelations, all while enjoying the playful banter of the universe as it nudges us toward self-discovery. Ever felt like you were carrying the weight of half a dozen overdue library books while trying to impress that hip cafe barista who somehow mastered every single latte art? Or have you sat through a lengthy meeting, nodding along while secretly wondering who thought adding more synergies to your job description was a great idea? Well, welcome to 610 CE, where your thoughts will echo in the air like a particularly enthusiastic goat bleating a tune, because you might just have the chance to turn that art of solitude into something sacred. So, get cozy, perhaps get a cup of chamomile tea, and ask yourself, what if your journal held the key to a direct line to Allah? What might happen when you put down your phone and pick up a quill? Close your eyes, deep breath, and let's imagine that you've just woken up in a centuries-old tent with a rustic wooden desk and an open leather-bound journal beckoning you to capture those fleeting thoughts before they slip away like an overly ambitious desert mirage. Can you feel the warm, sandy breeze gently nudging you awake, whispering to you like an old friend, urging you to unbottle those musings? Your quill is poised, but the ink seems to be laughing a bit too heartily, as if saying, "Where do we even begin?" Let's talk about the age-old art of journaling. You're seated at that rustic desk, the wood weathered and elegant, each groove and imperfection telling stories of the past. The flickering candles light up your surroundings, making your thoughts dance like animated jinn around you. You dip your quill into the ink and wonder if anyone in your time has penned a love letter to solitude yet. As you begin to scribble, the first letters flow onto the page like a smooth river stream, a poetic swirl that holds the essence of your soul. Your heart begins to feel lighter, like a lonely traveler finally discovering an oasis. Imagine the soothing scent of incense mingling with the faint aroma of desert blooms, wafting in through the open flap of the tent as you ponder the wonder of divine connection in the midst of your lonely thoughts. Why is it that solitude often compels us to discover layers within ourselves, akin to peeling an onion, but without the tears, hopefully? In that moment, you find yourself contemplating, did the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, feel this when he retreated to the cave of Hira, holding a similar journal, contemplating the weight of divine connection? What would he have said had he come across your musings? Okay, let's spice this up with a touch of levity. Have you ever had a chicken cross the road and wondered, did it have a destination, or was it just winging it like the rest of us? Similarly, amidst your jotted thoughts, imagine the prophet reclining under the stars, wondering, was it worth dodging the sheep herding contest to connect with Allah? As you dive deeper into your own spiritual journal, it's like discovering hidden treasures buried beneath the sands of your mind. What do those entries speak of? Perhaps entries about fig trees flourishing amidst drought, or unfulfilled dreams twinkling like distant stars, reminding you that even in loneliness, the universe conspires to guide you. You're now lost in thought, pensively reviewing your own scribbled verses when, suddenly, a gentle breeze summons a voice within. Ah, my wanderer, don't you see? Your loneliness is not a void. It's an invitation, an opportunity to dance with your thoughts and engage with the Almighty. It's as if Allah, in His divine wisdom, is nudging you gently, much like that old friend who knows you all too well, saying, "Look around. The sacredness of your solitude is where you find my presence." And as this moment of connection unfolds, you realize that seeking Allah's wisdom requires you to embrace those quiet moments. It's during these times that understanding flows, like cool, refreshing water reaching parched lips. It feels as if the universe is handing you cosmic humor while whispering, "Your loneliness? Like a fig tree in the desert, it has strength in its roots. Nurture it well and draw nearer to me." So let's continue this soulful exploration of the prophet's era, navigating through moments of introspection that elevate our spirits higher than the tallest palm tree swaying in the Arabian winds. Your quill dances across the page, effortlessly weaving thoughts that resonate with both your modern heart and ancient truth. Can you picture this profound exchange? Your heart becoming a journal itself, as each thought left behind creates a bridge to a world far bigger than you. Be it a whisper from the past or a gentle paddle through the currents of time, this journey through the art of journaling helps cement your bond with Allah in a way that transforms loneliness into a priceless gift. So, dear friends, as your eyelids grow heavier and the world around you begins to fade, remember, your solitude is the loss of signal that connects you to a greater frequency, Allah's love. Embrace those moments where stillness can brighten your heart and guide you toward divine wisdom. As we close this chapter of our spiritual journal, may every moment of solitude envelop you like a comforting embrace, gently reminding you of the inward connection with your Creator. Let those thoughts flow, painting the canvas of your heart with love, wisdom, and light. If this wandering through realms of solitude and spiritual connection took you on a soothing journey, consider sharing your love by liking, subscribing, and perhaps dropping a cheeky little comment. Only if that tickles your fancy, of course. May your dreams be filled with illumination, guiding you further along your path of divine connection. Sleep peacefully, dear friends, and know, in every moment of solitude, you are enveloped in Allah's divine presence, never alone, always connected. Sweet dreams. Chapter 7. The Vulnerable Dialogue. Salam alaikum, dear friends. As we drift deeper into the realms of reflection and solace, let's travel to a stone room that's dimly lit, almost as cozy as a lion's den after an all-you-can-eat buffet of sheep. This is not just any room. It's a sacred space where vulnerability meets the divine, a little corner of the universe where a man wearing humble attire stands on a prayer mat, mightily pondering the great mysteries of existence, much like you wonder why your neighbor's cat has decided to claim your garden as its throne. As you enter this serene scene, can you smell the incense wafting through the air, mingling with the faint, warm scent of old stones? Picture the man, a humble figure shrouded in layers that whisper tales of hardship and humility. He's not wearing the most stylish garb, mind you. It's more functional than fashionable. Kind of like that trusty pair of shoes you refuse to part with. Even the sunlight filtering through the narrow window seems to be on a diet. Slender beams illuminating just enough of the room, but leaving the rest delightfully mysterious. There he stands, his hands raised in supplication, palms open wide, like a child showing off his art project to a less than enthusiastic parent. The quiet hum of the universe wraps around him. In this sanctum of isolation, every creak of the walls echoes like a reminder of the struggles that weigh heavily on his heart. He's there, possibly lamenting his loneliness, just as you did when your phone notifications dwindled down to a heartbreaking single text that read, "You up? Why am I alone?" he questions, and you can almost see the gears in his mind turning like a set of rusty wheels that desperately need some lubricant and motivation. Why does it feel like I'm wandering through this desert of life with only mirages for company? A soft breeze drifts through the room, almost as if the universe itself is listening, nodding along like it's heard these fears before, guiding him toward a realization that loneliness isn't just the absence of company. It's the perfect opportunity for reflection and growth. Isn't that a modern paradox? We live in a world overflowing with connections, yet here he is, speaking his heart to the one who created it in the first place. "Ya Allah," he calls. "My heart feels like a deflated balloon at a children's party.
Picture it, a balloon sagging in the corner, longing for the joy it once spread. Is this loneliness a sign of your displeasure? He bends his head low, the vulnerability dripping off his words like honey from a freshly opened jar. His thoughts unravel like the loose threads of a beloved blanket, recalling the times he doubted himself when he compared his worth to the flourishing lives of others. Am I simply a shadow drifting by, or do I matter? Oh, haven't we all felt that? Occasionally staring into our phones thinking, where's my viral moment? And suddenly, the atmosphere shifts. It's as if the very stones are whispering back, "Dear heart, your loneliness is not a void. It's a canvas. It's the silent night before the dawn, an essential part of your existence." The man's brow furrows slightly, realizing that solitude isn't something to be feared. Instead, it's an opportunity to cultivate a relationship far deeper than any group chat. Imagine the echo of this truth. In the dim light, he begins to understand that even in a world that can feel overwhelmingly busy, the moments of isolation allow him to tune in to the divine frequency of Allah, much better than any podcast. "You're teaching me," he continues, "but I often miss the message. Is it an error on my part, or a sign that I'm still in the class of life, trying to ace my spiritual exams?" And as if on cue, the air thickens with a comforting presence, coaxing him to let go of his fears. "You're not just air drifting through a canyon," it says softly. "You're a unique locket in the treasure chest of existence, holding stories and dreams, your loneliness a mere bookmark in your remarkable journey." With a grin that dances on his lips, he lifts his head, his heart swelling with warmth. "So, my isolation is a gift?" he says, almost teasingly, as if he's just figured out a riddle that seemed impossibly convoluted. Like finding extra cheese in a food box when you ordered just the plain stuff. The room around him seems to resonate with laughter, like the universe sharing an inside joke. Yes, exactly. Embrace it. From this loneliness can blossom understanding, compassion, and an unbreakable connection to the divine. Suddenly, waves of empathy crash over him. He remembers times when others may have felt lonely, where a simple smile or word of comfort could have brightened their moment, just as the corners of his heart are now illuminated by revelation. His voice, now lighter, infused with a sense of purpose, he whispers, "Oh Allah, help me to embrace this solitude, to use my vulnerabilities as springboards for connection, rather than walls of separation." In that soft stone room, he begins to see that his loneliness is not merely the absence of laughter. It's an invitation to cultivate deeper connections, not just with himself, but with the world around him. Much like a gardener who has tended to flowers blooming beautifully even in the harshest climates. As you drift deeper into this understanding, you might notice your eyelids growing heavier. The dance of shadows and light in your own life, those moments of stillness, perhaps they too are not to be dreaded, but cherished as gifts. So take a deep breath as we journey further into understanding the transformative power of those quiet moments, where loneliness serves as the door to all the beauty and connection that this world and the next can offer. And so, we conclude this chapter of introspection and discovery, dear friends. May your solitude be a gentle reminder of the profound connection you hold with Allah and the universe. As you lay down to rest, let go of any lingering worries, for in every moment of solitude, remember, you are wrapped in a divine embrace, always connected, never truly alone. If this heartfelt exploration resonated with you, consider giving us a thumbs up, sharing this journey with others, and subscribing for more soothing tales. May your dreams tonight cradle you in tranquility and inspire your spirit to flourish even amidst quiet moments. Sleep peacefully, dear hearts, and know that every lonely night has the potential to bring forth luminous dawns. Sweet dreams. Chapter 8. The Anchor of Faith. Salam alaikum, dear friends.
As we ease into the depths of tranquility, prepare yourselves for a tale that's about as comforting as a fresh batch of warm baklava slipping into your soul. Tonight, we find ourselves bobbing gently on a modest boat, swaying on currents as unpredictable as your uncle during a family picnic. One moment, calm, the next, he's breaking out the karaoke machine. As you settle in, picture the vibrant blue sea shimmering under the sun, a gentle wind caressing your face. Can you hear the soft lapping of waves against the hull, punctuated by the sporadic squawks of seagulls? Perhaps you're wondering how the captain, who looks suspiciously like an extra from a pirate movie, managed to lose half his crew to a sandwich-eating contest. But worry not. You're safe at the helm, munching popcorn and awaiting the revelations ahead. But the scene shifts. The boat teeters over a heavy iron anchor resting on the seabed, a symbol of the steadfastness that is prayer. Have you ever tried holding onto a float in turbulent water? That's right. It's like wrestling with a greased pig at a county fair. Yet here, beneath the surface, lies an anchor that remains unmoving amidst swirling blue chaos. Let's pause for a moment. What must it be like to live in 630 CE, right before the dawn of a new era? Imagine waking up, brushing the sand out of your beard, or your specially arranged hairpiece, if that's your style, and dropping into deep reflection on the purpose of existence. You might be thinking, why does my neighbor keep his goats so close, and how do I convince him it's time for a proper fence? Or, more pressing, why does my prayer mat keep sliding away whenever I try to concentrate? Spoiler alert, it turns out both questions are deeply intertwined. In this world, our early friend, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has just received a different kind of revelation. Messages not merely etched in stone, but imprinted in the hearts of believers. Every whisper of those revelations brings clarity to struggles, much like finding your missing sock where it should never be, right under the couch. As we drift back to the anchor, let's consider how prayer serves as our anchor amidst life's stormy waves. It's a tether to the divine, offering stability like a trusty boat steering clear of rocks. Imagine your soul, whimsically wandering, feeling more lost than a GPS-less traveler in a maze of alleyways. Every call to prayer is an invitation, a reassuring voice saying, "Hey, it's time to sit down, reset your heart, and realign your focus." It's like when your favorite TV show takes a break, and the sweet announcer reminds you not to add unnecessary drama in your life. So, you take a deep breath, and as you inhale the fresh scent of salt water mixed with warmth, one hand gripped gently to the boat's side, eyes closed like a tiny bird in a cozy nest, you start to recite your prayers. Each word flows from your lips, a comforting lullaby for your soul. You realize that the anchor keeps you grounded amidst life's whirlwind, an unshakable connection to Allah, like your childhood blanket that's been with you through thick and thin, even if it now has questionable stains. Can you see the faces of those around you? Picture peasants, nobles, and everyone in between echoing their prayers, tapping into this divine resource. Life must have felt like a chaotic bazaar, colorful and full of noise, yet holding a beauty that binds all together. It's a beautiful irony, isn't it? In moments of loneliness, connection springs forth like a fountain, rejuvenating hearts. Now, what about those fleeting thoughts that slide in? Does Allah even care? Am I just amid echoes? Coming back to the anchor, it whispers back in reassurance, "Oh, dear soul, your loneliness is an opportunity to connect more deeply. Embrace it like a tasty morsel that makes you reflect on life." Call it the divine delivery. Every prayer you make becomes a thread stitching you back to the fabric of existence, much like trying to stitch a hole in an old favorite shirt, but somehow ending up with a much larger tear. In the midst of this serene backdrop, consider the man seated in humble garb, arms raised upwards as though he's simultaneously asking for a blessing and trying to catch his flying hat. His cries resonate through the heavens. "Oh, Allah, is this solitude meant to be my burden?" My heart feels as deflated as a balloon at the center of a kid's birthday party, flapping helplessly in the corner. The density of the air around him seems to hug him closer, revealing a truth. Solitude is not punishment, but an invaluable chance to know the divine. Pray, remain steadfast. Whisper your woes to the anchor of faith, which keeps you tethered. Isn't that a comforting thought? Just as the waves dance playfully around the boat, remember, our loneliness may indeed feel like isolation, yet it is not the absence of company. It is your divine appointment for authentic connection and profound growth. Let it lead you towards grace, to the inner pools of understanding, where empathy and compassion cultivate beauty. In this quiet, with every prayer you make, you lift your heart, letting the divine love cascade through. So, dear friend, embrace this anchor in your life, the rope tethered to your beautiful vessel, guiding you every lightless night toward endless dawn. Allow each prayer to fill your spirit as wisdom unfolds to remind you. You are never alone, always connected, and cherished by the divine. As we float gently toward the shore, prepare for a return journey of reflection, where every heart mourns and rejoices. Let's maneuver through labyrinths unseen, each wave carving a narrative, each ripple a whispered secret guiding you homeward, back to peace and light. And so we conclude this chapter of solace and enlightenment. Dear friends, may every mooring of prayer be a reminder that even in moments of solitude, you are cradled in Allah's embrace, never alone, forever cherished. If this journey resonated with you, consider giving us a soft thumbs up and perhaps even sharing this tranquility with those you love. May your dreams tonight glide over the waves of divine connection, illuminating your spirit. Rest peacefully, knowing you are woven into the fabric of His grand design. Sweet dreams. Chapter 9. The Prophetic Exemplar. Salam alaikum, dear friends. As we weave into tonight's serene tapestry, brace yourselves for something as riveting as your misadventures in trying to assemble IKEA furniture without a manual. But worry not. This evening we'll traverse through the sands of 610 CE, a time when the deserts were as barren as your cousin's dating life, and discover the enduring spirit of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So, how about those awkward moments when you attempt to impress a crowd but end up knocking over the punch bowl? Or when the Wi-Fi cuts out during a family Zoom meeting? Now imagine trying to spread a revolutionary message of peace amidst swirling sandstorms and skeptical tribes. You're probably wondering, what snacks were on hand back then? Did they have baklava or just dry dates? Ah, the mysteries of history. But as we drift through this era of uncertainty, remember, you're not just an observer, you've been dropped right into the midst of it all. Congratulations! You've just awakened in 630 CE, in a cozy corner of the Arabian Peninsula, amid the murmurs of a bustling caravan marketplace. Think of it as a cross between a flea market and a desert bazaar, where everyone is haggling over camels as if they're the latest tech gadgets. Here, life is as unpredictable as your morning coffee. You stretch, enjoying the morning sun as it pours in like an over-enthusiastic waiter at a buffet. Let's start with a look around, shall we? The air is thick with the scent of roasted chickpeas and spices, mingling with the dust kicked up by passing donkeys. You hear merchants shouting deals that sound like a combination of a game show announcer and someone being an overly enthusiastic cheerleader. And in the midst of this twirling chaos, there's something profoundly calming about it. Ah, but wait. Out of nowhere emerges a figure as noble as a knight, but with slightly less armor and a whole lot more charisma. Here stands the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, his silhouette cutting through the swirling sandstorms. Can you envision him? a man of deep faith, with a twinkle in his eye that says, "Life's a challenge, but we've got divine support, folks." He walks with the calm of someone who knows that Allah's plan it's just as unfathomable as the last season of your favorite TV series, complete with every twist you never saw coming. Picture him now, striding through life's tempests. You can hear whispers of doubt from the tribes, skeptical and as stubborn as a mule when it comes to new ideas. Shadows swirl around him, much like how your socks seem to disappear in the laundry. But our beloved prophet stands firm, exuding resilience like a cactus in the desert. Despite all odds, he thrives. Let's take a moment to reflect. Have you ever felt overwhelmed, as if life's storms were swirling just outside your cozy blanket fort? Like when your alarm goes off on a Monday morning and all you want is to rewind the clock. Yes, that very sense of loneliness can seep in, much like sand getting into your sandals. What if, instead of viewing it as isolation, you began to see it as a special invitation, an opportunity for you to seek deeper connections with Allah? Imagine him, hands raised in prayer, his voice unwavering even as the world spins wildly around him. "O Allah," he calls, "you are with me." You can almost hear the gentle whistle of the wind as Allah responds with a loving embrace, reaffirming the connection between the two, like how a good Wi-Fi signal feels after you've inexplicably struggled with multiple dead zones. As Muhammad, peace be upon him, stood against the storms, facing opposition with the grace of someone who's mastered the art of dodging awkward family questions, he was more than just a messenger. He was an exemplar of steadfastness. His resilience reverberated through the sand like the distant echo of prayer calls, ringing with hope and the promise of connection. And what about the companions bustling around, that vibrant community supporting him? Just picture it, a mix of peasants and nobles, each of them listening with sparkles in their eyes, as if they've just discovered a hidden gem at the bottom of an old treasure chest. Their lives, once filled with chaos and uncertainty, began to transform. The beauty of it is akin to the moment when you realize the socks you laid out for laundry are actually underneath the bed, just needing a little bit of poking to uncover. Now, let's shift the scene. Think of the struggles the prophet faced. Have you ever had a moment where you felt absolutely alone, as if the universe had conspired against you? A missed bus, an embarrassing Zoom mishap, or worse, running out of tea. In his quest to spread a message of unity, he faced hostility that felt like trying to explain your favorite memes to your grandparents. Difficult, if not downright impossible. But guess what? Those lonely moments weren't just darkness. They were the seeds of wisdom that sprouted into compassion and understanding. Our beloved prophet, dealing with ridicule and skepticism, showed us that loneliness can guide us to deep personal growth. He tackled hardships with grace, knowing that every sandstorm would eventually dissipate, revealing clearer skies. As you drift off to sleep, remember that just like the steadfast prophet, you too have an anchor, a divine connection to Allah. Loneliness is merely an invitation for intimacy, a gentle reminder that even in your quietest moments, you are never truly alone. So, let's embrace this beautiful irony, allowing the calm waves of faith to guide us through our shadows. As the night envelops us, let's drift together to that place of divine connection, where loneliness is not just a quiet absence, but a profound journey toward understanding the love of Allah that surrounds us all. And just like the straps of a good old-fashioned camel saddle, we've come to the end of this journey, dear friends. May you carry the lessons of resilience and steadfastness into your dreams tonight. If you found this tale resonating like your favorite childhood lullaby, give us a gentle thumbs up. Share this warmth with those you cherish, and perhaps subscribe, but only if your heart truly desires it. May Allah fill your nights with peace and unwavering connection. Sweet dreams as you sail across the ocean of tranquility, ever cocooned in His divine love. Chapter 10. The Mirror of Patience. Salam alaikum, dear friends.
Prepare yourselves for a soothing exploration contrasted against life's chaotic symphony, like your cousin's attempts at karaoke that make even the local cats wince. Tonight, we dive into the silent rhythm of a serene forest, where time takes a vacation and our earthly worries float away like leaves on a gentle stream. Yes, we're off to a calm pond to explore an extraordinary reflection, one that reveals more than just the surface. Much like your last family gathering unveiled more drama than you bargained for. Have you ever paused to gaze at your reflection, perhaps while brushing your teeth at ungodly hours? Did you notice an exhausted face staring back, as bewildered as a goat on roller skates? Imagine, instead, perceiving a radiant version of yourself, aglow with potential and wisdom, is like finding cash in an old pair of jeans. You weren't expecting it. But what if I told you this mirrored joy stemmed from something deeper? Perhaps the secret lies in the veil of loneliness, a gift from Allah, lovingly wrapped in the fabric of patience. Picture yourself transported to the year 620 CE. You've just opened your eyes to find tranquility surrounding you, only interrupted by the harmonious symphony of nature, the whispering leaves, gentle rustling waters, and perhaps even the occasional croak of an inquisitive frog. Adventurous issues that modern life pales in contrast to. Does it feel like a calm before a storm? A world with no itinerary, where anticipation breathes life into every second. Now, imagine being alone, but not lonely, as you stroll through a forest whose shadows dance elegantly, as if cheekily mimicking each one of your steps. As you approach a crystal-clear pond, you can't help but notice the exquisite serenity of the scene. Nature was clearly rehearsing for a stunning beauty pageant. The air is crisp, kissed with hints of wildflowers and damp earth, enveloping you in a scented embrace as warm and comforting as your favorite blanket. But wait, what's that? As you lean closer to the water, the surface shimmers like sunlight bouncing off a golden piece of baklava. But instead of your typical reflection, you behold a luminous version of yourself with a smile that could turn even the grumpiest cat into a fluffy bundle of joy. Is this the side effect of abstaining from caffeine, you might wonder? No, my dear friend, it's the mirror of patience. This enchanting reflection is here to show you an important lesson. You see, the true essence of patience and solitude reveals spiritual potential hidden beneath layers of daily hustle, much like a treasure buried under the ocean's weight, waiting for a worthy soul like yourself to discover it. Now, let's look at life during the time of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Amidst societal norms as rigid as your great-aunt's opinions on fashion, there was an undercurrent of reflection that manifested beautifully in solitude. Ever felt the urge to compartmentalize your emotions like you do with your leftovers? Well, the folks of 620 CE relished those quiet moments, discovering comfort in Allah's company, even as the societal critics strolled by, tossing unsolicited advice like confetti. We all have those days, right? The ones where you scroll through social media, seeing everyone else having the time of their lives while you're busy dealing with an apparent existential crisis. Amidst the bustling market in Medina, where camels and merchants created delightful chaos, loneliness often followed like a shadow. But that loneliness birthed incredible strength, like that annoying sock you can't find, but once reunited, makes laundry day much brighter. As you stand by the pond, take note. Those quiet moments are not meandering to nowhere. They're invitations to discover your own depths. Remember that when you feel alone, it's not the universe conspiring against you. It's patience's call for you to dive into inner reflection. Mahkama, the acceptance of solitude, similar to waiting for your microwave to ding after 12 hours, becomes your ally in revealing the beauty of your soul, just waiting to shine. In these fleeting seconds by the water's edge, what are you truly discovering about yourself? Perhaps it's realizing that loneliness is but a stepping stone leading you to the lush gardens of divine connection. Picture this, being enveloped in Allah's embrace while you navigate the ups and downs of life, much like a toddler on a swing set. The highs are exhilarating. The lows are just moments where you ponder how gravity works, at least until your mother calls you inside for dinner. Now, some gentle contemplation around patience, an attribute the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, embodied beautifully in a world that often challenged him. His moments of solitude by the mountains provided clarity, not chaos. While others might have grumbled about unanswered prayers, he sat, patiently opening his heart to divine love and wisdom. It's as if he recognized that every quiet moment was another chapter in the grand narrative of life, each dark line finding its way into brighter tomorrows. So, dear friends, as you navigate your own reflections tonight, remember, your loneliness, much like that bunny-shaped marshmallow you stashed away for a rainy day, is a hidden gift, a cherished moment towing the line between silence and revelation. And just like that, we've completed our serene journey across the still waters of patience, dear friends. May the reflections reveal all that is hidden within you, guiding your heart toward the divine connection awaiting amidst the noise of life. If you found solace in tonight's tale, please give us a like, share this with others seeking their inner glow, and, if you desire, subscribe, though only if this feels like the right fit for your soul. Until we meet again in the realm of dreams, may Allah bless your nights with tranquility, guiding your reflection deeper into His wisdom. Sweet dreams, as you float gently on the waves of peace and connection. Chapter 11. The Unfolding Bud. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, we're about to embark on a journey as soothing as a cup of chamomile tea, enjoyed while watching your neighbor's cat chase invisible mice. Yes, we're diving deep into the tranquil world of nature, time, and divine timing, flickering like the last ounce of patience you have when someone takes the last piece of cake at a family gathering. Imagine dimming the lights, a little more please, setting the mood to something cozy and warm, like your grandmother's shawl on a chilly evening. Feel free to slip into that comfy spot on your couch, turn on a gentle fan to embrace the soothing breeze, and answer me this. Have you ever waited so long for something that, when it finally arrived, you couldn't remember why you was excited in the first place? Or have you ever watched a flower blossom and marveled at its beauty, only to realize you've been standing there questioning how long it took for your hair to dry just last Tuesday? Perplexing, isn't it? But tonight, we're focusing on something different, the beauty of waiting, the patience that blooms in the spaces between moments, and how that relates to our deep, divine connection with Allah. Congratulations! You've just woken up in 620 CE, a time less about slick social media notifications and more about the gleam of the desert sun illuminating a nomadic tribe's next move. As you shake off the remnants of your slumber, take in the landscape. The morning dew glistens on the grass like the remnants of last night's hot chocolate spilling over the rim of your cup. Picture it, the Arabian Peninsula, where the air is as dry as your uncle's jokes, yet imbued with something sacred, a sense that every unfolding moment is a sign from the divine. So, let's talk about that flower bud, shall we? Imagine a beautiful flower bud enveloped in dewy warmth, resting quietly as the dawn whispers promises of a new day. Now, this bloom isn't just waiting for the sun to rise. It's part of a deeper, divine orchestration. Just as the flower unfolds at its perfect moment, do you realize that you too are in a process of unfolding in Allah's perfect timing? As the sun rises, it begins to coax the flower out of its slumber, gently reminding it to embrace its true nature. Let's be honest, isn't that a bit like how we sometimes need a little nudge to get out of bed and face the day? Now, while the flower is busy peeling back its layers, let me take you for a stroll around the bustling market in Medina, where life is colorful, and I mean colorful, like a toddler went wild with finger paints. The air is thick with the scents of spices, dates, and perhaps, fellas, the relentless debate over who has the best baklava. You see, during this time, before Instagram and tweets, before the continuous ding of notifications, people found beauty in patience, as seen in both nature and their daily lives. You might find yourself
surrounded by merchants barking prices like they're calling livestock, each trying to outdo the other. And there it is, a sense of community, even amidst the chaos of trade, a reminder that everyone is waiting, and it's okay. Just like the flowers patiently waiting for the sun, these folks are waiting for the perfect opportunity to sell their wares. Ever experienced a moment of solitude in such a dynamic chaos? It's a paradox, a buzzing marketplace where everyone is mingling, yet somehow, in those fleeting seconds, you could find yourself alone with your thoughts, contemplating the essence of your existence, like an ancient philosopher who's accidentally stumbled into a knockoff perfume stall. Embrace those moments. Much like the flower, which unfurls slowly and deliberately, recognizing that each petal is essential, you too need to recognize your inherent beauty. Allah calls you out of your own bud, guiding you to blossom in ways that only He understands. You see, in your moments of seclusion, whether grappling with everyday turmoil or existential musings, don't you realize that these are the petals of your spirit beginning to reveal themselves? But let's not forget about patience. The kind of patience that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught during a period when solitude wasn't just a trend or a wellness practice, but rather a profound connection with the divine. Imagine him, peacefully retreating to Mount Hira, finding solitude in the stillness of the rocks around him, waiting for the divine word. It's as if he was that flower, waiting to burst forth with color, while the world outside was merely a backdrop, chaotic, busy, yet beautiful in its own way. In those solitary moments, those precious moments between breaths, might you discover that your loneliness, much like that flower bud cloaked in dew, is a sacred invitation to unveil the dimensions of your existence? Those moments of solitude are not burdens, they are gifts, much like realizing that the leftovers you forgot in the fridge have somehow turned into a creative casserole. So, as the flower stretches toward the heavens, may you find comfort in knowing that every moment of waiting, every twinkling second of solitude nudges you closer to a deeper connection with Allah. While society buzzes around you, chaotically trading goods, thoughts, and ideas, remember to pause, breathe, and honor the beauty that unfolds within you, patiently awaiting the divine masterpiece at play. And so, dear friends, we inch toward the conclusion of our serene journey amid the unfolding beauty of patience. As those flower buds bloom to unveil their splendor, may you too embrace the precious waiting periods of your life. Remember, you are not alone in this. The divine whispers of Allah are ever present, nurturing your growth, flower by flower. If you found solace in tonight's tale, please give us a like. Share this story with others navigating their own blooms of patience. And, if you felt moved, consider subscribing. Only if this feels right for you, of course. Until we meet again in our dreams, may Allah bless your nights with tranquility, guiding you toward your own unfolding moment among the petals of divine connection. Sweet dreams as you drift gently into the night, embraced by the essence of tranquility. Chapter 12. The Beacon of the Quran. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight we journey through a cavern so ancient and sacred, it makes your attic's forgotten Christmas decorations look like yesterday's news. Picture this, an enormous, ancient Quran, so colossal it could easily serve as a makeshift spaceship for a very ambitious cat, resting atop a stone pedestal, radiating a brilliant, warm, white light. Yes, this is not merely a story, it's a quest beyond your wildest imagination. Before we dive in, let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever felt more alone in a crowded room than a cat at a dog show? Or perhaps you've contemplated existential questions like, why do I keep stepping on Lego pieces in the middle of the night? If you've nodded in agreement, hold on to that feeling. For tonight, we will unravel why those moments of solitude can be a divine gift from Allah. And just like every great adventure, let's dim the lights in your cozy corner, crank up that fandom to a gentle breeze, and snuggle into your favorite blanket like it's a warm embrace. Prepare to be transported back in time, whether you're sipping tea or pretending to be a time-traveling historian. Ah, the Arabian Peninsula of the early 7th century. Congratulations! You've just woken up in 620 CE, a time when the sand was drier than your grandpa's sense of humor, and folks wore more camel hair than the fashionistas on Instagram today. Imagine the scene, a marble hall, its ceilings soaring like a majestic eagle on a windy day, echoing whispers of ancient secrets. Here, in this cavernous beauty, stands the massive Quran, your guiding star, glowing with an ethereal light. It drives back the shadows, much like the resolve of a determined toddler refusing to take a nap, illuminating your new world with wisdom. As you draw closer, the scent of history embraces you like an old friend who's just returned from a long journey. The aura in this sacred space pulsates like the heartbeat of the cosmos, inviting you to contemplate the eternal questions of life, purpose, and the divine. The cavern is alive, whispering reminders of the struggles faced by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, during his path to prophethood. Let's talk about that Quran sitting before you. Imagine it, a celestial phone line to Allah, full of divine messages, waiting for someone to pick it up and connect. In an age when the only notifications you received were from your neighbor's rooster crowing at an inconvenient hour, Allah saw fit to send His revelations to humankind, ensuring you would never have to feel alone in your moments of solitude. Oh, the irony. When you start questioning the meaning of life, you suddenly find yourself standing amidst prophets, revelations, and reflections, like having front row seats at the greatest cosmic show ever. Throughout the caverns, while the winds sing lullabies, you feel the essence of divine solitude dance with purpose. Maybe, just maybe, all that solitary time you spend scrolling through phone feeds or staring at the ceiling is a gentle nudge from Allah to sit quietly, listen, and ponder what it truly means to connect with Him. Ah, you think, perhaps your loneliness is less a burden and more a beckoning toward the sacred. Like a flower emerging from the warm embrace of the earth, you too are invited to unfold, petal by petal, lifting your spirit high toward the heavens. The cavern echoes your thoughts, inviting you to dive deep. What would happen if you took a moment to truly explore the depths of yourself? And as you stand beneath the Quran's light, a sudden thought strikes you. It's no different than navigating the digital chaos of today, right? Just as those ambitious influencers curate their perfect lives, you are on your path, crafting a beautiful narrative beneath the divine glow of the Quran. As you dance with thoughts of past prophets, can you imagine how they grappled with loneliness? Picture Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the solitude of Mount Hira, engaged in reflection, pondering the destiny of a faith that would eventually weave itself into the very fabric of human history. It was in those moments of solitude that he received the sacred revelations, solidifying the bond between Allah and humanity. The cavern's echoes remind you of another truth. Every lonely moment acts as an invitation to unveil the depths of your existence. Each second of solitude is filled with divine potential, much like your breakfast avocado that can either be a delightful toast or a battle with an overly ripe fruit. You realize now that loneliness doesn't have to be feared. It is instead a gift, a portal to the celestial melody intertwined with your existence, waiting for you to embrace it fully. A gift from the divine, nudging you toward reflection and connection, guiding you not just to live, but to thrive. As the shadows of the cavern dance, framing the luminescent Quran as the epicenter of wisdom and revelation, embrace the truth that these lonely moments may be Allah's unique way of nurturing you, like watering a seed waiting to blossom into a vibrant flower. To navigate life amid the noise, take comfort in your solitude. Venture deeply into the expansiveness within, for there lies a connection so profound it surpasses beyond any digital cat video or scroll through your social media feed. So, my friends, as you cradle this truth in your heart, know that the beacon of the Quran shines even brighter in the moments you feel isolated, reminding you of Allah's eternal presence and love.
lighting the path toward growth, connection, and divine purpose. And so, dear friends, as we edge toward the close of this serene journey, may you carry with you the understanding that your moments of loneliness are gifts, that sacred calling from Allah Himself. Just as that mighty Quran shines within the cavern, illuminating secrets of the universe, may you too embrace the light within your solitude. If you found solace in tonight's tale, wrapped in warmth and humor, please give us a gentle thumbs up. Share this story with those navigating their own blooms of patience. And perhaps, if your heart feels moved, consider subscribing. Only if this feels right for you, of course. Until we meet again beneath the stars in our dreams, may Allah bless your nights with tranquility and guide you toward unveiling the beauty that lies within your soul. Sweet dreams as you drift gently into the night, embraced by divine peace, and find comfort in knowing you are never truly alone. Chapter 13. The Map of Life. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, we embark on a journey even more intricate than your Aunt Fatima's famed holiday lasagna recipe. So many layers, and frankly, just a tad confusing. Picture this: a vast, glittering map sprawled across an ancient wooden table, shimmering with golden paths and glimmering stars, as if the universe itself conspired to create the ultimate guide to your life. But before we delve into the heart of this divine cartography, let me ask you, have you ever felt like life is just a whack-a-mole game, where every time you think you've nailed a problem, another one pops up? Or considered whether your GPS was actually a prank, and you were meant to take that left turn way back there? If you've chuckled at these thought loops, rest assured, tonight's narrative will guide us through understanding that even those twisted paths lead to something divine. Now, find your cozy corner, dim those lights, and let the fragrant scent of date palms and warm spices sweep you into a state of relaxation. Are you snuggled in? Good. Take a second to appreciate how far you've come in life. How many strange outfits you wore in the 80s, or that questionable haircut you swore was a good idea back then. All moments, much like this magnificent map, have a place in the grand scheme of things. Ah, the Arabian Peninsula, the bustling backdrop of 620 CE. Congratulations, you've just woken up, metaphorically speaking, in a land where the sand is as fine as powdered sugar, but way less delicious. Picture a community buzzing like a beehive, merchants shouting their wares, children playing games that seem to involve much more running and far less logic than a modern game of tag. But beneath this cacophony lies something far deeper. Let's turn our gaze to that intricate map spread before you. Imagine a glowing tapestry of wisdom and guidance, the Quran, a celestial GPS leading you through life's rise and fall. It's fascinating, isn't it? A roadmap designed to help you navigate not only the physical paths of this world, but also the spiritual maze that sometimes makes you feel like you're stuck in a poorly directed soap opera. As your eyes wander over the map, you notice paths illuminated in gold, marking key moments in life. These are the reminders of your choices, experiences, and, let's face it, those delightful accidents that somehow turn into the best stories later. The Quran is not just a book. It's a lifeline, mapped intricately to guide you toward finding meaning amid chaos. Picture the wise words bubbling up, like the perfect cup of tea brewed just right, warm, comforting, and most importantly, rich with flavor. But why do we often overlook these golden highways? Perhaps it's like standing in front of a buffet and going straight for the Jell-O salad. Sure, it looks colorful, but is that really what you want? The Quran invites you to indulge in the rich stews of ethical living, compassionate action, and a well-designed plan connecting your heart to the divine. Let's pause and picture the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself, standing on that very same map all those centuries ago. Now imagine him pondering the profound wisdom bestowed upon him, feeling alone atop the mountains,
much like how many of us feel in the silence of our own rooms at times. But it was in those moments of solitude that the Quran began to emerge, each revelation a stepping stone on the glorious paths of life detailed in that ornate map. The sacred map vibrates with life and energy, drumming the questions in the depths of your heart. What does it mean to connect? How can I make sense of this loneliness? Almost like those unsolicited ads popping up online, I promise this isn't just an error. Every lonely moment is a corner on the map beckoning you to explore, a quiet nudge from Allah reminding you that loneliness is not weakness. It's an opening, a door to the space where connection blooms. As the wind gently sways the palm trees outside, imagine the Prophet, peace be upon him, in solitude on Mount Hira, wrestling with the questions of his own being. It was there that revelations poured like a warm spring rain onto parched land, vital and nourishing. The Quran became not just a guide, but a reminder that he was never truly alone, and neither are you. Can you see it? Each golden path on that magnificent map reflects the myriad choices we have. When life feels like a chaotically drawn cartoon, that's precisely when the Quran flourishes, reminding you of the purpose behind the solitude, urging you to seek knowledge, engage fully, and understand the greater tapestry at play. Ah, my friends, the truth dawns gently. That loneliness is a map unto itself, an invitation to connect with yourself and ultimately with the divine. Just as landscapes shift and seasons change, so does your journey, richly layered and laden with meaning, like layers of a dutiful baklava. Yes, it takes effort to peel back each warm, sweet layer, revealing deeper truths. Ultimately, the Quran, our divine map, expands those moments of solitude into beautiful pathways, every twist and turn leading you closer to the very essence of existence. It teaches us not to dread these valleys of loneliness, for even there, you are cradled within the arms of your Creator, blossoming like spring flowers breaking through winter's frost. As the last golden rays of sunlight dip below the horizon, that sacred map whispers its timeless wisdom, inviting you to embrace longevity, hope, and reconnection. No matter how twisted the path may seem, each step taken leads to a deeper understanding and a closer bond with the divine light that has always been, and always will be, guiding you home. And so, dear friends, as this chapter draws to a close, may you carry with you the understanding that your moments of loneliness are treasures, a unique map guiding you back to the richness of your heart and the presence of Allah. If you found joy in tonight's story, woven with humor and divine guidance, gently tap that thumbs up. Share this journey with friends wandering their own paths, and maybe even subscribe, though only if it feels right for you. As you drift into the comforting embrace of sleep, let the stars above guide you like the golden paths of that intricate map, the signs of understanding, connection, and love awaiting you in your dreams. May Allah bless your nights with tranquility and illuminate your journeys, reminding you always that your map is bright, vibrant, and deeply significant. Sweet dreams, and may peace be with you always. Chapter 14. The Light of Understanding. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight we find ourselves wafting into a space more serene than a cat napping on a sun-drenched windowsill. Welcome to a quiet courtyard in 620 CE, where the aroma of warm bread wafts through the air like a gentle lullaby, and scholars, bless their passionate hearts, delve into the depths of knowledge as intently as you might search your couch cushions for lost change. Before we dive into this oasis of wisdom, let me ask you a few questions that might tickle your funny bone. Have you ever tried to read a book while surrounded by hyperactive kids? It's like trying to meditate in a pizza parlor filled with clowns. Or what about achieving a moment of clarity after a long day only to realize you've forgotten where you put your glasses. On your forehead. Tonight, our journey takes us into the world of introspection, where profound ideas emerge, not just from books, but also from the golden rays of the sun reflecting off the pages of wisdom. Now, let's settle in as if we've just woken up in this sun-drenched courtyard. Congratulations! You've landed smack dab in the heart of Arabia, where camels are still the reliable Ubers of the day. Picture it for a moment. The hustle and bustle of daily life, camels chomping on palm fronds, and the sound of scholars debating fiercely, as if trying to solve the riddle of the universe while inadvertently ordering an extra-large order of hummus. In the courtyard, we find ourselves gazing upon a revered scholar. Let's call him Ibn Kamil. He's seated cross-legged under a shimmering canvas, absorbed in his lessons with an intensity only rivaled by your local barista during the morning rush. It's like watching your cat stare at a mint he's determined to catch. The concentration is palpable. The sun casts its golden light, illuminating the worn pages before him, pages that seem to soak up every drop of wisdom, glowing as if kissed by 1,000 suns. As you watch Ibn Kamil read, each word seems to ignite sparks of understanding, twinkling like fireflies lighting up the twilight. They rise gently, lifting the weight of his solitude, revealing the importance of this introspective moment. Now, imagine for a moment, you alone in a serene space, feeling that odd combination of loneliness and tranquility. Sound familiar? It's akin to binge-watching a captivating series alone, cozy, yet comforted by an existential question. Is this how squirrels feel when they cache their nuts? But pause and consider. Could this very solitude be the bridge to a deeper understanding of yourself, and more crucially, of the divine? Our scholar is in his element, cloaked in the wisdom of ages. He knows that these moments of solitude aren't a curse, but rather a gift from Allah. A gentle nudge inviting you to step closer to yourself and, ultimately, to Him. Think of it as being sent to time out, but instead of mischief, it's for reflection and growth. Like when you accidentally spilled juice on the rug, but ended up deciding to install tiles instead. As the day moves toward its end, and the last rays of sunlight stretch across the courtyard, Ibn Kamil pauses to reflect. It's as if the quiet whispers of the universe are echoing in his mind. Through understanding, you will find connection. But connection isn't just eking out communication with others. Oh no, it's deeper than that, transcending the type of connection you feel during a brief but spirited debate over the best baklava. It's more akin to the connection between the heart and the Creator, where loneliness becomes a profound teacher, an ally whispering, in solitude, you can explore realms unknown to bustling crowds. It's the gentle revelation that loneliness serves as both a comfort and a conduit for growth, a space where personal revelations can bloom like wildflowers on the barren desert floor. The scholar must grapple with this idea too. What if loneliness is a gift? What if it's the push necessary to awaken a deeper understanding? Just as our friend, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, found tranquility on that rocky mountain, so too do you find peace amid the chaos of life. Much like the time you found salvation in the freezer when you discovered a forgotten tub of ice cream, solace awaits in unexpected places. Abandoning his thoughts, Ibn Kamil chuckles to himself, recognizing the bond between the illuminated mind and the understanding heart. It dawns on him. Perhaps each sorrowful evening alone, unraveling scrolls, might just be an unveiling, a divine invitation to unravel the mysteries held within. How curious to ponder. Maybe God winks playfully, like a grandparent enveloping you in stories, urging you to embrace the light of understanding. Even as the sun dips below the horizon, the courtyard whispers secrets of eternity,
reaffirming that you are never truly alone. In moments of solitude, the lights flicker to life, illuminating the potential of your journey and beckoning you to dive into the depths of your existence. So, dear friend, are you ready to unwrap the gift of loneliness and embrace it as a step toward understanding? As you nestle further into the coziness of this thought, prepare to let these reflections guide you like a warm shawl draping over your shoulders on a cool evening. With this newfound perspective, remember, your loneliness can indeed spark connections that transcend the mundane, unearthing treasures buried deep within your heart. And so, dear friends, as this chapter draws to a close, may you carry with you the light of understanding, knowing that your moments of solitude are not solitary at all. They are gateways to the infinite, guiding you home to the warmth of Allah's wisdom. If you've savored tonight's story, do consider giving a gentle thumbs up. Share it with wandering souls seeking similar comfort, and perhaps subscribe, though only if it
warms your heart. As you drift into sleep, let the whispers of the courtyard, the flickers of golden light, and the joy of connection cradles you gently into the dreamscape. May Allah bless your nights with serenity and fill your thoughts with the promise that you are never alone. Sweet dreams, and may peace be with you always. Chapter 15. The Balanced Life. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight we embark upon a journey more grounded than a wise elder's sandals after a long day. A journey exploring the wonders of balance. Imagine, if you will, the splendid simplicity of old-fashioned brass scales gleaming in the warm Arabian sun of 620 CE. On one side, a prayer bead patiently rests like a cat waiting for a sunbeam. On the other, a juicy piece of fruit and a sturdy tool, symbols of earthly nourishment and industriousness, representing the harmony between spiritual care and physical sustenance. Let's get comfy, like a couch potato on a Friday night, shall we? Give a gentle nudge to those pesky thoughts crowding your mind. Have you ever tried balancing a tall glass of water on your head while riding a bicycle? A fine example of physical imbalance. Or what about that moment you attempted to juggle multiple grocery bags while answering a phone call, only to unleash a cascade of apples onto the sidewalk? You know, it's moments like these that teach you that balance in life, much like balance in juggling, can often be a slippery slope, or should I say, a rolling banana peel. As we transition into the world of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, during this transformative era, imagine you've just woken up in the bustling heart of Arabia. It's the year 620 CE, and while the sand may not be as inviting as a cozy blanket, the vibrant atmosphere is alive with stories of wisdom, floating through the air like the scent of freshly baked bread. Much better than that stale loaf you left in the back of your pantry, right? Now, picture a humble home with modest furnishings, where the daily hustle and bustle is akin to your morning commute, filled with hurried footsteps, animated chatter, and the occasional commotion of playful children. In this whirlwind of life, you find a moment of stillness, a divine invitation to reflect. Let's weave ourselves into the life of a character we'll call Fatima. Our dear Fatima seems to carry the grace of a gazelle, while managing her household as skillfully as an acrobat walking a tightrope. She balances her duties like a pro, yet we all know that every fine balance sometimes encounters an off-kilter moment. Ever tried balancing a child on one hip while pouring tea with the other? Now that's a daring feat that might remind you of a circus act, minus the applause, of course. But here's where we dig deeper. Fatima often retreats to her little corner of the home, where intimate conversations with Allah turn her mundanity into moments of mystical clarity. With the warmth of her prayer beads in hand, she finds herself asking profound questions about solitude, balance, and connection. Can you relate? How many times have you found solace in the quiet before the storm of your daily chaos? With an amusing mix of resolve and mischief, Fatima giggles to herself. It's like trying to meditate in a busy market square, an exhilarating challenge. As she sits, the scales beside her eerily mirror her life journey. They sway slightly in the gentle breeze, just as she occasionally does, caught between the longing for Allah and the responsibilities she bears. Embarking on her spiritual balance sheet, she realizes, this loneliness, this moment of quietness, is it not an investment in my relationship with Allah? She giggles, thinking about how odd it seems to many. A gift wrapped in the disguise of solitude. What could be more paradoxical than that? As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Fatima reflects on her place in this world. Just as the fruit waits patiently alongside the prayer bead on the scales, she learns that tending to her heart is just as essential as the toil of her day. She chuckles to herself. Think of it like tending a garden. If I don't pull the weeds, how will the flowers bloom? Let's take a moment to admire this charming correlation, shall we? In the hustle and bustle of that bustling courtyard, Fatima's life echoes the duality of existence. While we fill ourselves with the sustenance of worldly matters, the fruit, we must not neglect our connection to the divine, the prayer bead. Consider this. When was the last time you sat down and allowed yourself to ponder the deeper questions? Perhaps it was while sipping your favorite tea, contemplating whether you should have added a dash of cinnamon, because why not? In solitude, wisdom sometimes reveals herself gracefully, like the gentle flutter of a butterfly finding a perfect landing spot. As this chapter unfolds, Fatima realizes that this perceived loneliness is, in fact, a divine nudge. Just as our scales find equilibrium, she grasps the essential truth that life demands balance, a blend of the spiritual and the practical. It's not about choosing one over the other, but rather about harmonizing both. Remember, balance isn't just a yoga class position. It's the art of weaving both the essence of prayer and the practicalities of life into a breathtaking tapestry of existence. So, dear friends, as you drift into the tranquility of this moment, let the laughter and revelations shared here today guide you through the ethereal dance of life. May you find solace and understanding in both the fruitful endeavors and the serenity of solitude, much like Fatima. Perhaps tonight, as you close your eyes, you'll feel those gentle scales swaying to the rhythm of your thoughts, a reminder that life is indeed an intricate balance, and your journey, unique and divine, is a gift wrapped with the whispers of Allah. And here we gently draw this chapter to a close. As the final flickers of light give way to the embrace of night, may you carry the warmth of Fatima's journey and the gentle reminder of balance close to your heart. If this delightful exploration tickled your fancy or made you reflect on your own moments of balance and chaos, consider giving us a thumbs up and sharing this tale of divine understanding. As you nestle into your dreamscape, let the echoes of these reflections dance like soft shadows on the walls of your mind. May Allah bless your nights with peace, knowing your journey through life, equally zany, whimsical, and deeply sacred, reflects a divinely orchestrated balance. Sleep well, dear friends, and may the blessings of tranquility cradle you into sweet dreams. Chapter 16. The Temple of the Body. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, we find ourselves embarking on a journey more refreshing than a cool breeze caressing your face during a sizzling Arabian summer. Yes, we're diving into the beautiful concept of honoring our bodies, that miraculous temple gifted to us by Allah. Are you ready? Well, you better be, because this ride might just be smoother than your cousin's attempts at a TikTok dance. So, first, let's cozy up. Grab your softest blanket, dim the lights, and maybe toss in a fan or two for that cool desert wind effect. Have you ever found yourself standing in a marketplace, buying dates, only to wonder later if you should have just bought the whole palm tree instead? Or perhaps you've stared at your reflection and contemplated, Is it my genes or the ice cream that's judging me right now? Ah, the dilemmas of our modern lives. Now, let's whisk ourselves back to a time less complicated. 610 CE, a time when the Arab Peninsula was buzzing more than your social media notifications after a viral tweet. Congratulations! You've just woken up in a world where sunsets paint the sky like a masterful artisan at work, and people take hefty pride in their hospitality, often through food that might linger on your taste buds long after the meal. Picture yourself standing in a vibrant green meadow, the rich hues of nature lifting your spirits like a powerful dua. In those days, the sprawling landscape of Arabia wouldn't just be a feast for the eyes, it would also invigorate your senses, inviting you to walk through it like a royal procession. Look at you, striding with purpose. You might even feel a dance in your step. Goodness, it's more invigorating than that muffin you devoured last week. Ah, our journey through the meadow unveils the timeless lesson of honoring the body as an essential duty in Islam. Let's not forget Allah's wisdom revealed through our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The assertion that our bodies deserve love, attention, and care, much like that one houseplant you vowed to nurture, but somehow mistook for a fruit fly breeding ground. Imagine you meet an old villager along the way, a wise man, perhaps, resembling a sage more than an ancient desert dweller. He meets you with a warm smile, much like the one your grandma gives when you finally visit after months of excuses. "My dear friend," he says, "you are a steward of this body. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Discover its magnificence through the rhythm of your steps. Movement is your sacred duty. And let me tell you, nothing feels as revitalizing as a good walk under this sun." You're contemplating whether his words are directing you to yoga class or just a lazy stroll at sunset. Either way, his humor almost twinkles like the stars above. Just like you wouldn't let your prized Mustang loaf around all day, why let this body of yours drag like your neighbor's old scooter? Ah, those poetic musings spring forth lessons rich with intention. Here in the lush meadows, you let your feet dance with joy, each step a new affirmation, each breath a reminder of creation's beauty. And hey, who knew the humble act of walking bare feet on the grass would feel like a delightful tête-à-tête with nature herself? Let's pause for a moment. Close your eyes and feel this invigorating energy surging through you. Isn't it fascinating? Much like a monkey trying to juggle bananas, your knees bounce up and down, whispering soft encouragement to your soul. You're reminded, this is a gift. The essence of your being, the invaluable stewardship entrusted to you by Allah, and hey, you get to partake in this captivating journey called life. Now, as you tread upon the verdant carpet, you're reminded that honoring your body is not merely about physical appearance. Oh no, my dear friend. Think of it like polishing a shiny, ancient artifact. Sure, it looks amazing from afar, but the real beauty lies in the care you afford it. Can you picture yourself at noon, a tempting smell wafting from an open kitchen window nearby? What would Fatima, our lovely friend whom we met in the last chapter, cook up for her family? Maybe some dish that bursts with flavors, a fusion of spices flowing as freely as the laughter of well-fed children. But guess what? Fatima also knows to nourish herself first, because an empty pot won't feed anyone, right? She chuckles gently. If I don't take care of my temple, how could I sprout wings to carry the weight of my lovely, busy household? And there she goes off to fetch water for the garden, dousing it with love as she understands that this balance of nurturing herself and her responsibilities is key. Much like tackling that pile of laundry on a Tuesday night, one step at a time. Right, my friend? As you stroll through the meadow, you start to realize it's more than just a physical act. It's a melodic dance of life. You're creating harmony between your spirit and the material world, much like that hypnotic rhythm of prayer filling the air around an ancient mosque. How magnificent is that? So, take this moment with you. Let's reflect. In the solitude of your evening, whether you're tucking away thoughts of the day or gearing up for tomorrow's blissful chaos, bless your body. Move, breathe, and truly engage with your existence. Let that quiet whisper in your heart remind you of Allah's gifts, the laughter, the walks, the adventures waiting just outside your doorstep. Each a gentle nudge towards honoring the temple that is you. And as we gracefully wrap up this chapter in our lovely meandering, may the lush meadows and wise villagers linger in your heart like a warm embrace. If you enjoyed tonight's whimsical journey of self-love, body reverence, and a sprinkle of humor, consider giving us a thumbs up or commenting below, but only if it genuinely
tickled your fancy. As the world slows down and your eyelids gently flutter, remember that every step you take in life is a reflection of your gratitude to Allah, and every moment spent in reflection brings you closer to that divine connection. Sweet dreams, dear friends. May your nights be filled with tranquility, and your heart forever dance in the rhythm of divine love and joy.
Chapter 17. The Rejuvenating Soul.
Salam alaikum, dear friends. Welcome back to another whimsical journey, one that's cooler than a cloud of fresh mint hanging over a bustling market in the shade of a desert tree. Yes, tonight we're traveling back in time to 610 CE. Are those sandals too tight? Did you just step into a cactus? It's all part of the adventure. Before we dive headfirst into our story, let me ask you, have you ever felt like a boiled beet right after a long day, only to plop down in your favorite chair and bask in the soothing glow of your phone screen? Or perhaps you've had the luxury of splashing cold water on your face after encountering that one neighbor who gives unsolicited advice louder than a muezzin at dawn. Are you ready? Because you're in for something more refreshing than your ex's excuse for why they ghosted you. Now, take a moment to dim the lights, call in your favorite pillow, and imagine that calming breeze. You know, the one that feels like Allah's gentle caress as it ruffles through your hair. Feel free to turn on a fan if you're dreaming of that oasis vibe, because our journey is about to begin. Congratulations. You've just woken up amidst the golden sands of Arabia. The sun hugs the horizon, and the air is filled with the scents of fresh dates and herbs wafting from the bustling market nearby. You hear laughter, chatter, and, if you're really lucky, the occasional goat that thinks it's a stand-up comedian. Now let's plunge into the moment. You find yourself a weary traveler, straight from an ill-planned expedition that took a wrong turn somewhere near a very unhelpful cactus. You stumbled upon a crystal-clear mountain spring, glimmering like an oasis, just waiting for a knight in slightly too small sandals. You can practically hear the water calling your name, much like your favorite binge-worthy show beckoning you on a Friday night. Let's talk about rejuvenation. You dip your hands into the spring, splashing its coolness on your face. Ah, feel that water dancing on your skin like a joyous folk dance performed by jubilant villagers. The crystal-clear liquid appears to shimmer with a holy light. Perhaps it whispers secrets of divine tranquility. Or maybe it's just laughing at your, uncoordinated attempt to refill your water pouch. As the droplets splash onto your weary face, you remember a piece of wisdom from our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Self-care, dear friends, is not merely indulgence. It's an act of gratitude to Allah, much like that time you remembered to send your mom a thank you text out of nowhere. Waka waka, the universe cheerfully reminds you. You owe it to yourself. In this reverent setup, you notice the desert landscape around you, stretching far beyond sight, a reminder of Allah's greatness. Each grain of sand, a token of His creation, each glistening particle telling a story of strength and resilience. As you bask in this mesmerizing beauty, your senses awaken in delightful harmony with nature. You catch distant rustlings and chirps. It's like nature is throwing a party, and you're the unexpected guest. A curious bird flutters by and seems to nod at you, as if to say, "Good choice on the self-care. Don't forget to stretch too, or tomorrow you'll be walking like a penguin on roller skates."
Ah yes, a wise bird. As you gaze into the tranquil waters, you ponder a little more about loneliness. There's something peaceful about being alone, isn't there? It's more refreshing than that last-minute snack after a long day, the moment of relief that nothing else can quite fill. In this solitude, you discover a gift from Allah, a moment to reflect, refresh, and reconnect with your thoughts. Much like understanding that splurging on that extra cupcake after dinner might have consequences for your waistline, but offers a sweet, cosmic joy. So, as you splash more water on your face, you realize that in your solitude, you're not truly alone. Allah is with you, knitting the unseen threads of companionship through your existence. You chuckle quietly, feeling as though the water is sharing jokes with that wise bird, who's now having what looks like the best day of Arafah ever. Imagine that. You, a simple traveler, unwinding by a spring while ultimate truths of existence fill the air. The whispers of Allah bring warmth. Loneliness, a way for him to say, "Hey, let's reconnect." Anxiety fades like yesterday's sandwich. Each drop of water feels like a guiding touch, bringing clarity to your heart and connection to the divine. Let's savor this moment for a while. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing the calm energy to embrace you like that favorite grandmother who turns every experience into a lesson. Much like the villagers who taught us that the secret to life isn't in the tea they serve, but in the love they pour into every cup. Perhaps you decide to dip your feet into the refreshing water too. Oh, sweet relief, like stepping into a pair of soft, fluffy slippers after a long day. Not only does the spring wash away the dust from your travels, but it also revitalizes your spirit, transforming your tired soul into a blossoming oasis. With a gentle smile on your lips and that twinkling sensation in your heart, you embrace the magic of solitude as a precious gift. The water laughs, the birds dance, the world spins joyously around you as serenity envelops your very being. As you reflect upon this experience, you recognize that the true blessing of loneliness lies in acknowledging what you desire, a connection to Allah, a moment of appreciation for the universe, and perhaps a quiet giggle with the elements around you. And as we wrap up this delightful chapter, dear friends, may the echoes of that crystal-clear spring resonate in your hearts, reminding you of the gifts Allah bestows upon us, even in our loneliest moments. If you enjoyed this splashing adventure of rejuvenation, don't forget to sprinkle some kindness on your way out, like a thumbs up or a gentle comment below, but only if it truly resonates. As sweet dreams beckon and the night wraps its charms around you, remember, your loneliness is a gentle nudge from Allah, guiding you back to yourself and to the beautiful universe that awaits your presence. Until our next rendezvous, may your hearts find tranquility, your dreams overflow with serenity, and may you awaken each day refreshed like a traveler at a divine spring. Sweet dreams, dear friends. Chapter 18. The Tapestry of Community. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Welcome back to this delightful journey, a journey so cozy it could make your favorite blanket jealous. Tonight we find ourselves in a moment more golden than a sunrise over the sands of Arabia. Yes, it's the time of the prophetic era, right between 610 CE and 632 CE, when spirituality is blooming more vibrantly than your neighbor's overzealous garden after a season of rain. But before we unravel the mystical threads of connection that bind us all, I have a few questions. Have you ever felt like a jigsaw puzzle missing that one corner piece? Like, really? Perhaps you're having coffee with friends and it hits you. No one understands your fervent love for avocados. Ever had a hard time figuring out how to pronounce Sahih Bukhari in a room full of well-read admirers? Or maybe you've sat through a meeting where you're screaming inside, "I'm just here for the croissants." Now, let's check our mental packing list before we dive into this sandy adventure. Dim the lights, grab that pillow like it's your long-lost best friend, and welcome in a breeze that carries the scent of saffron and cardamom. Ah, the sweet moments. Congratulations! You've just woken up in the grand mosque of an ancient city, a place so vibrant you'd think a rainbow exploded in the marketplace. Picture this: a diverse group standing shoulder to shoulder, with men and women of all walks of life, their laughter and chatter swirling around you like clouds of incense. In the center of this beautiful chaos, a faint, glowing thread of light twinkles, representing the sacred bond of the Ummah. These precious folks are as mixed and colorful as a plate of Arabic meze. Each individual adds flavor to this divine tapestry. Now, let's take a stroll through the mosque and paint a picture of the daily life that thrives here. As you bask in the beautiful architecture, with arches cradling the sky like a parent holding its child, you can't help but admire the craftsmanship. The cool stone feels like a warm hug. Over there, you spot a group of youngsters energetically debating which vegetable is the champion of the culinary world: eggplant or zucchini. A debate that's as sparks fly and laughter erupts. It holds the essence of this delightful congregation: alive, curious, and above all, connected. Amidst this lively scene, the aroma of freshly baked bread wafts through the open doors, tinged with hints of olives and za'atar. Oh, your stomach grumbles. It speaks the universal language of hunger. You remember that once there was a time when the hardest decision you had to make was whether to have hummus or baba ganoush with dinner. But here, food flows generously, like love that never runs dry. But let's not forget, even in such a beautiful moment, there's the occasional tumble, the kind that occurs when you trip over your own imagination while lost in thought. Nearby, an elder, man wearing a white turban, teaches his young grandson how to tie his first prayer cap, and while the cap more resembles a mushroom cap, the pride in that little boy's eyes shines brighter than the sun itself. You can't help but chuckle at how familial love creates bonds stronger than a bungee cord strapped in a treadmill. And now, through the gateway of laughter, you'll witness even the toughest characters here soften. Did you hear what happened to Ahmed? He tried cooking a new dish. Let's just say the fire department knows his address well now. A hearty laugh ensues, and you notice how these shared moments of joy and gentle teasing weave connections deeper than the finest fabric. It's the essence of being human, after all, making mistakes but sharing a joke over them. As you step closer to that gathered flock, your mind meanders back to the moments of solitude you faced. Not those agonizingly lengthy, dark evenings, but cherished moments of reflection that felt like sacred invitations from Allah to slow down, take a breather, and reconnect with your own heart. You realize that through loneliness, you've learned the sweet taste of recognizing your value, and those quiet moments have carved an open space for Allah's love to seep in. Surrounded by your companions here, you feel a reassuring nudge from divine grace. Look around. You're never truly alone. Suddenly, bang! Someone accidentally drops a basket of dates, sending them rolling in all directions. The collective gasp fills the room, and before you know it, they all burst into laughter, a ripple of joy that echoes off those grand walls. It feels as if Allah is reminding you how community, with its unexpected surprises and delightful chaos, wraps around you like the most comforting blanket on a cold evening. As the sun starts setting, casting a golden hue over the mosque, you realize this vibrant gathering holds the ancient wisdom sown within its laughter, love, and the occasional date-flinging crisis. Each trial, each joy shared, reinforces the fabric of existence, ever intertwined, ever nurturing, reminding us that Allah's purpose flows not in solitude, but amongst His creation. A sacred ummah, seamlessly connected by an invisible thread of warmth and kindness. So as you drift off into dreamland, dear friends, may you carry the lessons of togetherness close to your heart. Know that every laugh and every tear shared brings you closer to understanding Allah's loving gifts. And there we wrap up our journey through the tapestry of community. Indeed, may the laughter and love echo in our hearts long after we've left this vibrant scene. If this whimsical adventure tickled your fancy, please do shower us with the gift of a thumbs up, a gentle comment, or even a subscription, only if you truly enjoyed it, of course. As the stars glimmer above, may tranquility wash over your dreams like waves upon the shore. Remember, your loneliness is just a gentle invitation from Allah to reconnect, like a message in a bottle, drifting back to the shores of your loving heart. Until we meet again on the next enchanting adventure, sweet dreams and serene nights await you, dear friends. Chapter 19. The Act of Charity. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight we ventured deeper than a philosopher's thoughts on a Tuesday afternoon, swimming through the heartwarming waters of charity, a topic as sweet and nourishing as the first sip of a warm cup of tea on a chilly evening. Imagine this, the city bustling around you, where the scent of spices dances in the air like excited children at a carnival, and your heart flutters at the thought of one very special act of kindness. But have you ever pondered the intricacies of giving? Like, have you ever tried sharing your favorite dessert only to realize your roommate has a serious knack for hoarding all the good stuff? Or how about those awkward moments when someone gives you a gift and your brain stutters like an old car? Do I return the favor, or just smile like a deer caught in headlights? Yep, those thoughts swirl around as we navigate the delightful yet sometimes bumpy path of giving. So, let's immerse ourselves in the vibrant rhythms of life back in the prophetic era, around 610 CE to 632 CE. Picture it. You're lounging in a lavishly adorned carpet, the kind people tussle over like it's the last slice of almond baklava. As the sun dips low on the horizon, casting soft copper hues across the city's rooftops, let's take a moment to appreciate the power of charity, the very zakat that transforms hearts and communities. Congratulations! You've just woken up in the heart of Medina, where kindness flows like the Nile, and every soul is a treasure chest waiting to unlock generosity. Here, it's not just friendly banter filling the air. It's the sweet sound of coins clinking, the lifeblood of community spirit. Let's envision a scene, shall we? You stroll through the sun-kissed streets, where every palm tree sways like it's just heard the best punchline ever. Out of nowhere, a local merchant, a burly man with a beard as fluffy as a cloud, grins at you and nudges your ribs with an elbow that could probably spark a wildfire. Did you hear about Ahmad? He tried to donate a bag of dates to the poor, but mistook it for a sack of onions. Let's just say there was a lot of confusion, and a very unhappy bunch of donkeys. Before you giggle at the mental image of confused donkeys, take a moment to absorb the colorful tapestry unfolding around you. The streets are alive with chatter, the kind of chaos that feels as comforting as a well-worn blanket. Old ladies are calling out to children to help carry bags of grain, while men gather in lively debates over which date tree produces the most date money. As you saunter by, you spot a gathering around a charismatic figure, a charming storyteller who recounts the beauty of zakat like it's the most delectable dish ever served. He gestures animatedly, his arms flailing like a celebrating sheikh at the wedding of a beloved cousin. Listen, dear friends, when you give, you receive. Just like when you let your friend cut in line at the falafel stand. Little do you know, you just made a lifelong buddy. A ripple of laughter cascades through the crowd, and the ambience becomes charged with warmth. You notice a small group in the corner, exchanging happiness through acts of kindness. One person gently places gold coins into another's outstretched hands. At that very point of contact, a soft light illuminates the scene, almost as if Allah Himself is shining a beacon on this beautiful act of zakat. You realize right then and there that charity doesn't merely cleanse one's riches, it unites hearts across a sprawling community,
weaving invisible threads that hold the fabric of society tight. As the inconspicuous sound of coins clinks, your heart swells, not just for the receiver, but for you too. The spirits of giving and receiving are interlinked, swirling around like a summer breeze in the oasis. You think back to your own life. Have those moments when you felt trapped in loneliness turned into gifts or actually an invitation to reflect on your connections with others? It's as if each act of charity sends out a ripple, encouraging those around you to share their joy and compassion. Who knew that such a concoction of giving could feel like sipping the sweetest honey while watching the sun dip below the horizon? It's profound. You ponder how the smallest gesture, like sharing that extra slice of pie, can inspire others to extend their generosity. After all, the act of giving is like a delightful dance, a joyful rhythm where every move brings people closer, melting away barriers and celebrating the divine bonds of humanity. And while we're at it, let's not forget the occasional hiccup, like that time Ahmad got a little overzealous and offered his sandals to the wrong man. "They were just so comfortable," he proclaimed. "How could I resist sharing?" Everyone in the crowd laughs heartily, and you realize generosity, even with its funny moments, is the golden key that unlocks endless joy within community bonds. As night begins to drape over the city like a cozy quilt, you feel its comforting embrace stretching beyond the colorful chaos, a reminder of how zakat works as a purifying force, unraveling the loneliness that sometimes creeps into your heart. You connect deeply with the wisdom that loneliness, in its true essence, is an opportunity for reflection and reconnection. Not just with yourself, but with Allah's infinite grace through the community around you. So, dear friends, as you drift off, may the delightful and slightly humorous echoes of kindness linger in your dreams. Remember that each act of charity is a step closer to uplifting those around you and strengthening the divine connections that spark joy in the heart. And just like that, we conclude our whimsical journey through the resplendent act of charity. If tonight's tales enriched your soul or tickled your funny bone, consider bestowing us with a thumbs up
or a cozy comment. Only if it brought you joy, of course. As you close your eyes, may the warmth of community envelop your dreams, reminding you that your solitude is merely an open door for Allah to stroll in. Until we meet again on this magical adventure, may serene nights blanket you in peace and laughter. Chapter 20. The Cosmic Purpose. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight we embark on a journey more expansive than your uncle's fish stories, floating above the earth, traversing the vastness of the night sky like weary stargazers with astronomical dreams. Imagine yourself standing atop a towering mountain peak, bathed in the cool breeze of 7th century Arabia, with the world beneath you twisting and curving like a well-rolled kebab. Yup, tonight we're diving deeper into the very fabric of existence, one that makes you ask, what am I doing here besides trying to avoid all those internet trolls who think they're philosophers? And while we take this journey, let's gently stir those thoughts in your minds. Have you ever questioned your place in this vast universe? Or have you ever stared at the sky and thought, wow, if stars were meant to guide, how come I still can't find my way to the grocery store? And what of those times when you felt as alone as a single sock in the laundry? Is it possible that those moments of solitude are, in fact, invitations from Allah to connect deeper with Him? So, dear listeners, dim those lights, switch on that fan if you're feeling warm, and nestle into your cocoon of comfort. Let's set off on this celestial voyage and unveil the divine, because, believe me, nothing is more enlightening than gazing into the cosmos and pondering the ultimate questions of existence. Congratulations! You've just woken up in the year 610 CE, perched high above the bustling markets of Mecca. Picture yourself gazing down at the lively streets filled with merchants bustling about, selling everything from colorful fabrics to dates that could probably get a raise for being so sweet. Can it get any better than this? Now, as you stand there, pretending you're a guardian of the ancient city while silently pondering if you packed enough snacks for the climb. You notice the sun painting golden hues across the horizon as if it were auditioning for a leading role in a nature documentary. This is a time and place where the sky isn't just an empty space, but a treasure trove of meaning and purpose. The stars twinkle above, each one telling stories of those who have come before you, and perhaps nudging you to reflect on your cosmic role in this divine tapestry. Let's pause and take a moment to revel in the majesty of it all. Imagine lying back on this mountaintop, feeling as small as a speck of dust amid the infinite grandeur of the universe. Suddenly, the trees rustle like they're sharing secrets. The moon is your nighttime companion, whispering all the truths you never bothered to consider before. Ever wondered why loneliness creeps up like a cat stalking its prey? It's not just an empty feeling. It's an opportunity for reflection that Allah lovely lays at your feet like an unexpected gift during Eid. And imagine this. Out of nowhere, a local man approaches you, one who humorously tries to juggle rocks he picked along the way. With a beaming smile, he exclaims, "You know, if each star represents a question I had about existence, I'd have more stars than you can count. But really, wouldn't that make my head too heavy?" His laughter echoes into the air, and suddenly you mirror his joy. How is it that laughter thrives even in the throes of contemplation? You ponder how divine grace invites you not simply to dwell on your solitude, but to embrace it, to transform it into a tool for growth. After all, wasn't the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, often seen in quiet reflection during his time on Mount Hira, pondering the vast mysteries of creation? You take a deep breath, feeling that same spirit enlivening you. In that moment on the peak, every hue of the setting sun weaves itself into a masterful tapestry of purpose. It strikes you, those lonely patches of your life, those moments where whispers of self-doubt murmur like old, scratchy records in your mind, are actually golden invitations from Allah, encouraging you to delve deeper into your own existence. As the stars begin to glimmer like tiny beacons of hope, you sense that each one holds the essence of an underlying truth, a reminder that the universe is brimming with divine mysteries waiting to be discovered. It's like being a cosmic detective, and the best part? Each clue draws you closer to Allah, the greatest truth in this universe. You chuckle softly. Imagine what you'd say if someone asked you to soul search up on this mountaintop. I'm just here, unraveling the universe's most ridiculous mysteries, like why I can't seem to remember where I parked my camel. As the cool mountain breeze envelops you, you realize being alone is less about isolation and more about finding peace in your own company. The whispers of solitude invite you to connect with your Creator, reminding you of your cosmic purpose, mapping out all the ways you can contribute to the divine blueprint of existence, blending your unique colors into the kaleidoscope of humanity. And suddenly, that lonely feeling morphs into a tranquil understanding, a gift from Allah cussed with love and a gentle nudge towards reconnection. The mountains cradle you, the sky opens up above, and in that silent, cosmic moment, you grasp a profound truth. Solitude is just the quiet canvas where Allah paints the brightest colors of connection, creativity, and purpose. And as you sit there, wrapped in this serene moment of existential reflection, you might even find yourself secretly grateful that you didn't climb up here just for the snacks, after all. And just like that, dear friends, we conclude our cosmic adventure high above the city of Mecca. If tonight's exploration into the tapestry of existence tickled your minds and touched your hearts, do us a favor. Consider hitting that thumbs up, sprinkling a comment down below, only if it brought you joy, of course. As you drift off into slumber, may the whispers of connection and cosmic purpose cradle you like a soft quilt of divine dreams. Until our paths intertwine again on this delightful journey, May peaceful nights envelop you, guided by the stars and filled with the soft glow of your unique purpose. Chapter 21. The Inner Battle. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, we journey into a realm where the echoes of history wrap around you like a warm blanket, and not the scratchy kind your grandmother knitted after her 5th cup of tea. Picture this. You are transported back to the year 620 CE, and you find yourself under a gnarled tree that looks a bit like it's seen more drama than a soap opera star. Welcome to the heart of Arabia, where philosophical musings mix with the sweet scent of dates and ancient tales. As you settle in, have you ever felt as if you were battling with a shadow of yourself, on a quest more intense than trying to decide between 2 dessert options at a wedding? Have you ever dreaded facing your own flaws while your ego sat next to you, smugly sipping tea? And let's be real. What's the deal with those moments when you felt solitary like the last slice of cake at a party? Perhaps, dear friends, it's time to think of that loneliness not as a wretched companion, but as an intriguing partner, inviting you to explore deeper realms of your soul. So, dim those lights, get snugly, and allow your mind to drift. Close your eyes for a moment, and imagine a warrior clad in mesmerizing silver armor, the sun glistening off its polished surface like a million tiny stars. The warrior sits in silent meditation, resting against the tree's ancient bark, and perhaps, just maybe, wonders if he remembered to send that email about his annual budget at work. This is not just any warrior. He's you, fierce, noble, and fully aware of the monumental task at hand, conquering the inner self. Let's take a moment to immerse ourselves in this existence. As the sun rises like a golden pancake flipping majestically in the sky, you witness what seems like a shadow version of yourself lingering in the corner of your mind. Yes, that's right. It's lurking there, not in a spooky horror movie fashion, but more like an annoying little brother you can never shake off. This shadow, dear warrior, represents your struggles, your pains, and your imperfections. He's the ego that often insists on reminding you of those awkward moments from 10 years ago when you accidentally wore mismatched socks to a gathering and tried to play it cool. Guess what? You are not alone in this epic saga. Imagine the trees swaying as though they are gossiping about you. Did you hear? He's facing himself. It's like a dramatic TED Talk, but with much more life at stake. The universe plays along, rustling with anticipation, as you engage in this fierce inner dialogue. You breathe in the essence of the moment. The air is palpable, filled with whispers that encourage you to embrace your flaws. How else will you grow? They seem to giggle. If you can't laugh at yourself, then who can you laugh at? The goat in the market? As you delve deeper into this moment, you realize the truth hidden beneath the surface. Your loneliness acts as a mirror, reflecting parts of yourself you might otherwise ignore. Just like the revelations bestowed upon the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in those sacred caves, this battle within is a pathway to light and understanding. The echoes of your own shadow beckon you to wake up to the beauty and strength that comes from acknowledging your imperfections. Ah, so now I get it, you chuckle inwardly. This solitude is not just an invitation to wallow, but an open door to a treasure trove of self-discovery. You lean back against the gnarled tree, allows its ancient energy to seep into your being. The sound of rustling leaves mimics the hum of thoughts racing through your mind, a symphony of introspection. They whisper age-old secrets about growth, resilience, and finding solace in your own company. After all, was it not solitude that propelled the prophet to seek deeper meanings? Glancing around, you notice the warrior within you, the one clad in silver armor, standing tall, perhaps slightly unsure, yet ready to face the storm brewing within. With every breath, you find the courage to confront the shadow, recognizing that he too is a part of you. It's like realizing the dessert options are actually all fantastic choices. You just need to taste them one at a time.
Suddenly, your shadow, the figment of all those doubts and flaws, starts to take form. "Why so serious?" it teases, pulling a mock frown to exaggerate the folly of despair. "Life is about messy moments and imperfections. If life were a cake, it would be half-baked at times. And oh, how delicious that can be," you chuckle, remembering those moments of rushing out without tying your shoelaces. You had thought of loneliness as a curse, but now it feels more like a befriending tool, finally allowing you to glimpse and acknowledge the layers of yourself. Gazing into that shadow, you see signs of resilience, the journey, the struggle, and the growth, all necessary ingredients for wisdom. You may not possess the answers to every existential question, but you're beginning to understand that the path is as valuable as the destination itself. Every battle in your heart and every struggle faced alone is a divine nudge from Allah, a reminder that in every retreat there is preparation for an even greater comeback. You smile at this thought, as if the universe conspired to gift you the opportunity to look inward, making you a work in progress, a true masterpiece in the making. And just like that, dear friends, we've ventured into the depths of our inner realms, unraveling the beautifully complex relationship between loneliness, self-doubt, and the divine connections that emerge from them. If tonight's exploration into the warrior spirit within tickled your mind and warmed your heart, make sure to hit that thumbs up before drifting into the dreamscape of your travels. May your nights be filled with peace and dreams that echo with the wisdom you've gathered. Until our paths intertwine once more in this delightful journey, may Allah embrace you with His love and remind you that even when you feel alone, you're truly never without connection. Sweet dreams, and remember, embrace that shadow like an old friend who's trying to remind you of who you really are. Chapter 22. The Pursuit of Knowledge. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, we delve into a treasure trove of enlightenment, where dusty tomes and parchment dreams flutter about like eager butterflies. Welcome to 620 CE, where the air is thicker with wisdom than your Aunt Fatima's famous Muhammara dip. Imagine a library so vast that the books themselves seem to have their own agenda, taking flight to share their secrets with you. Now, close your eyes and visualize this serene sanctuary filled with the whispers of eager minds. Have you ever been in a situation where you desperately wanted to know the answers to life's great mysteries? Like why that one friend always shows up late, and how on earth you can make a perfect cup of coffee? Well, my friends, tonight we uncover a cosmic truth, that these moments of curiosity and yearning for knowledge are a divine gift. And who better to guide us than the compassionate hand of Allah? As those thoughts drift, envision yourself among a diverse gathering of students, an unlikely crew filled with the wise, the naive, and yes, even a few nonchalant cats. Yes, cats. Picture them clad in robes that, if the fashion police of 2023 were around, would probably get cited for being too loose-fitting. They are all here with one goal: to stretch their minds and discover the secrets that have been tucked away, just like the last cookie in a cookie jar. In this enchanting space, imagine books swirling through the air, prompting gasps and giggles. Perhaps one adventurous student accidentally catches a tome about the strange ways of the universe, much like that confusing physics lesson you wished you'd slept through. The book opens mid-air, revealing the verse, "Seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave," and the students nod in awe, realizing that knowledge bites like a stubborn mosquito in July, annoying yet essential. Let's take a moment to imagine our protagonists plunging into their lessons. It's a calm day. The sun spills golden light through the library windows, illuminating scrolls that smell of ancient history, much like that one ancient uncle who firmly believes he knows everything. Bless his heart. The gentle rustle of parchment fluctuates with laughter, and between sips of lukewarm tea, those present ponder critical questions.
How does one balance faith and curiosity? And is the secret to life really just a good hangout with your buddies? But here's where the story turns. Because along with the pursuit of knowledge comes the challenge of understanding it in its divine essence. Picture this. A rather enthusiastic young man with an oversized turban, probably borrowed from his grandpa, stands up. "Why should we bother learning?" he queries, scratching his head in confusion as others nod along, thinking maybe they missed that chapter. The library ripples with a light giggle, because, let's face it, weren't we all that person at some point in our lives, lost in existential queries while trying to cram for exams? The head librarian, wise and patient like everyone's favorite grandparent, chuckles before holding forth on the importance of seeking knowledge. Knowledge, he quips, is more than the words on these pages. It's the bridge that connects us to Allah, reminding us of His infinite wisdom. And just like that, the room fills with a cozy warmth, where loneliness, spite, and competition are swept away on an invisible breeze that carries the scent of fresh optimism. Suddenly, one of the older students, think of him as the wise owl of the group, chimes in. "Let's dig deeper. Remember the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, spent long hours reflecting in the caves. Sometimes you've got to flee the chatter of the world to find what resonates with your soul." At this, the group collectively exhales. They begin to feel the power held within the act of seeking knowledge, a divine gift that stands firm against the waves of confusing solitude. Indeed, sometimes we feel alone in our quests, only to realize each moment spent pursuing understanding is a chance to connect with something larger than ourselves. Isn't it ridiculous to think of those moments when we feel utterly lost? Like when you forget where you parked your car after a long shopping spree. Not alone. Each one of you holds the courage of countless generations, and with that courage lies the thrust to seek history, wisdom, and enlightenment. As the energy fills the library, the books begin to return to their shelves, having poured out their secrets with every flutter. The students sit back, absorbing the thrill of their sacred duty, to pursue knowledge that will uplift their spirits, broaden their hearts, and spark their actions. They know they stand at the foot of a remarkable journey, realizing that every bit of knowledge they acquire is a precious reminder from Allah that they are never truly alone. Much like sharing a good laugh over the awkwardness of life, laughter bonds. The pursuit of knowledge is woven with the fabric of life, urging us to plow through our loneliness, because truly, every moment spent in self-discovery is a step closer toward understanding the divine connection that binds us all. As the sun begins to arc lower in the sky, casting a soft glow through the library, the students prepare to leave. They may occasionally stumble, lose their way, or even forget to look up from their notes when it's time for a brisk walk in nature. But they head out, enriched with curiosity, ready to share their treasures, remind each other of their celestial worth, and yes, even giggle over those small, silly moments that make life worth living. And just like that, dear friends, we've traversed the beautiful landscape of knowledge gathering, illuminating our understanding that our moments of loneliness can also serve as divine invitations to grow. Like a patchwork quilt of wisdom, we are all pieces of a remarkable tapestry, stitched together through our quests for learning and understanding. If tonight's whimsical voyage ignited a spark in your heart, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts below, because we absolutely love hearing from you, but only if you actually enjoyed this, of course. As you drift off into a restful slumber, may Allah bless your pursuits and remind you that even in solitude, you are never truly alone. Sweet dreams, and remember, each page you turn is a step toward binding your spirit deeper in connection with the divine. Until next time, may you wander through dreams filled with knowledge, warmth, and an occasional errant flying book. Chapter 23. The Infinite Library. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, we embark on a journey more fascinating than trying to explain TikTok to your grandparents. Together, let's explore a time when the skies were ablaze with the colors of divine revelations. Wisdom was as sought after as that last slice of your favorite dessert, and loneliness was viewed in a new, rather profound light. Imagine you're snuggling into a cozy nook, your favorite blanket draped over you like a comforting hug from the past. Go ahead and dim the lights, turn on that enticing fan, and sit back, because tonight we dive into the enchanting year of 620 CE. Here, the air is filled with the scent of parchment, and the whispers of eager minds float about like playful spirits. Have you ever found yourself staring into the sky like a curious child, wondering if someone out there has the answers to life's most perplexing questions? Maybe, why is there always one sock missing after laundry? Or, how do you make your plants flourish without overwatering them? Well, tonight, we'll encounter a scene where such questions spark divine reflections. Oh, and let's not forget the age-old debate that haunts every academic gathering. What's the deal with being alone? Is it truly a burden? Or could it be a surprisingly delightful gift from Allah, crafted with love and filled with the essence of understanding? Congratulations! You've just woken up in the bustling heart of 620 CE, where the glittering Arabian Peninsula buzzes with trade, language, and thought like the chatter at a family reunion. Before we dive into this vibrant era, picture yourself as an inquisitive scientist, peering through a telescope at an ancient nebula, with a lovely Quran open beside you. A perfect blend of heavenly wonders and earthly wisdom. Let's set the scene. You're standing at the entrance of what could only be described as the infinite library, a sprawling treasure trove of knowledge nestled among the sand dunes of ancient Arabia. The sun pours golden light through its grand windows, illuminating scrolls and books that seem to whisper secrets louder than a cat in the night. Soft scrolls resting on ancient wooden tables rustle, carrying the rich scents of aged leather and ink, almost like the scent of freshly baked bread mixed with the excitement of a medieval fair. Your mind dances with thoughts of scholars, scribes, and seekers alike, each one donning flowing robes that would earn them instant fashion points. Even in a time-traveling competition, let's be real. Can you hear it? The melodic chatter of students excitedly debating the existence of the universe, while a rather pompous cat reclines on a pile of scrolls, clearly thinking it's the true keeper of wisdom. You can't help but chuckle as one enthusiastic student, with enthusiasm that could rival a kid at a candy store, shouts, "What if this whole universe is just a big, cosmic joke?" With laughter rippling through the library, the wise head librarian, a figure as imposing yet lovable as your favorite uncle, steps forward. He places his hand on his heart and speaks. "Ah, dear students, sometimes loneliness teaches us more about ourselves than 100 gathered sages." But let's pause for a moment, shall we? Each petal of our story unfolds like a soft bloom at dawn. Picture yourself, with your fellow travelers, as you gather round the flickering oil lamps, legs crossed on the cool stone floor. The conversations drift like warm honey, each point sparking thoughts deeper than a well and broader than the desert horizon. "I feel lonely," you declare, raising a finger as if to emphasize the gravity of your statement. It's like being that one piece in a puzzle that doesn't quite fit. The laughter that follows is like music, the kind that sparks a sense of community. The wise librarian chimes in, "Perhaps, my friends, this loneliness is but a vessel, a graceful tapestry woven by Allah, inviting you to explore the cosmos within your own hearts." At that beautiful moment, with the flickering lights painting your faces in warm hues, something clicks. You realize that every pang of solitude is a divine invitation to explore your inner landscapes, much like peering into the endless vastness of the universe through your trusty telescope. As the evening progresses, students begin to reflect more deeply on their searches for knowledge and connection. Is learning really the bridge that connects us to Allah? One friend questioningly muses, scratching his chin with exaggerated seriousness. The group chuckles at the sight of his feigned profundity. "Yes,
booms the head librarian, his voice echoing in the hallowed halls. Knowledge, my dear ones, is the dance of stars unfolding within us. It carries the same essence within its verses, much like the heavenly bodies glittering across the night sky. It's true, in this infinite library, every scroll tells a different story, every chapter inviting exploration as precious as those quiet moments spent savoring warm tea on a winter night. Even the students, adorned in loose-fitting robes reminiscent of the latest trends in comfort wear, realize that solitude allows them to tap into an acute awareness of themselves, to delve deeper into the divine connection they share. As laughter blends with contemplation, the gentle embrace of knowledge grows thick and rich like a favorite fondue. Every inquisitive moment shared among friends opens doors to worlds yet unseen. Realizations dawn like the sun. Where once there was loneliness, now blossoms understanding, laughter, and an indescribable bond. And so, with the warm light of camaraderie strumming like gentle guitar strings in the air, our tale spins onward into the peaceful backdrop of 620 CE, the moment where ancient texts intertwine with cosmic truths, echoing Allah's invitations to you and me. As the library hums with life, books fluttering around like butterflies showcasing their infinite wisdom, you begin to recognize loneliness not as a problem to solve, but rather a friend whispering that your unique journey is another dance upon the canvas of existence, a precious brushstroke in life's vivid masterpiece. And just like that, dear friends, we've journeyed through the infinite library, where knowledge and Islamic teachings come together to illuminate our paths. Remember, every moment of loneliness is simply a seed from which can bloom wisdom, understanding, and a deeper connection with Allah. Much like gathering at a halal potluck, we are all here to share our flavors, dear friends. If tonight's voyage brought a smile to your heart and a cozy warmth to your soul, don't forget to like, subscribe, and sprinkle your thoughts below. But only if you truly enjoyed this journey. May your dreams tonight be filled with knowledge and understanding, reminding you that within every quiet moment lies the profound whisper of the divine. Until we meet again on our starlit journey, sweet dreams, and may you find the hidden treasures within your own infinite library. Chapter 24. The Harvest of Gratitude. Salam alaikum, dear friends. As we settle down for another enchanting journey tonight, relax and prepare for something sweeter than a hidden stash of chocolate in your pantry. Picture a scene more delightful than stumbling upon forgotten cash in your pocket. Imagine standing in a golden wheat field under a sunset that's spilling vibrant colors like a toddler with a crayon box. Tonight, we'll explore a time where solitude was as vibrant as the yellow hues engulfing that waving wheat, and gratitude was the harvest reaped even when the skies seemed stormy. So, go ahead and slip under your cozy blankets, dim the lights, turn on that enticing fan, and get ready to float away into the calm whispers of history. But before we drift into our story, let me ask you a few questions that might tickle your brain. Ever wondered how a farmer in the 7th century felt when he saw his first crop ready for harvest? Did he do a little dance like a kid does when he finds out he doesn't have to share his dessert? Or how about those moments of loneliness? Were there secret meetings of farmers discussing the existential crisis brought on by too much solitude? Do I talk to the sun? Am I officially an agricultural philosopher now? I can just see them pondering. Congratulations, you've just woken up in 620 CE amongst the golden fields and fertile lands of the Arabian Peninsula, where the air is thick with a blend of spices, dreams, and the optimistic hopes of generations. Here, the sounds of laughter mingle with the soft rustling of wheat, much like your favorite song playing softly in the background as you sip chamomile tea, eager to unwind into blissful sleep. Picture yourself now. You're a farmer standing amidst golden waves of wheat that reach for the heavens, practically whispering, "You're welcome." Because not only is that wheat bursting with potential, but so are the hearts around you, teeming with gratitude and hope. The sun is dipping low on the horizon, like your uncle after a big family meal. It's a peaceful surrender as the day moves into the warm embrace of twilight. Now, as you take a moment to breathe deeply, the sweet smell of freshly harvested grain envelops you like a warm blanket. But the question looms. How did these farmers connect their harvest to a greater purpose? Well, my friends, it all starts with Gratitude 101. As you wander through the fields, let's talk about the harvest, an ancient ceremony where farmers gather to share their gratitude for what the Creator has bestowed upon them. And oh, how rich their discussions must have been, illuminated by the soft glow of oil lamps. Dude, did you see how big my wheat stalks grew this season? I did, but did yours outgrow mine? Because I'm starting to think my wheat might have a superiority complex. The local assembly of farmers, gathered around, would echo laughter that danced atop the cool evening air as they
reflected on the abundance around them and the love from Allah that sustained them. As they etched their thanks into the fabric of the evening, their gratitude shimmered like those golden grains, a testament not just to surviving, but thriving. You see, they believed that loneliness, or the quiet moments spent among the fields, were invitations from Allah to connect, to reflect and appreciate, much like you do when you take a moment to enjoy a quiet cup of tea after a chaotic day. In their serene solitude, they found peace, discovering that these moments of stillness weren't curses, but blessings. Loneliness, one farmer might say with a chuckle, is like that one stubborn grain of wheat that refuses to join the harvest, a reminder that sometimes it's okay to stand alone and reflect on one's blessings. You can almost picture the collective nod of understanding from fellow farmers, their beards shaking in agreement as they soak in the wisdom of the fields around them. As dusk blankets the land, you can hear the soft crunch of sandals on the ground, the gentle chatter of neighbors exchanging pieces of advice. Don't forget to thank Allah for every ear of grain. It's like His way of sending us a card that says, "You're doing great." Maybe this solitude lets us realize that it's not just about grain, but about gratitude. By the time the moon rises, the farmers gather together one last time for a banquet, a feast filled with dishes made from the precious grains woven together by community, joy, and thanks. Who knew that wheat could bring us together so deliciously? One might exclaim, chuckling as they pass around fluffy loaves of bread. Where else can you find such camaraderie, aside from a potluck? And so, dear friends, nestled under the glowing stars, you start to see that every grain harvested is not just a grain. It's a reminder of the interconnectedness between the sowing of seeds, the nature of gratitude, and the understanding of Allah's divine wisdom in solitude. It's a delightful concoction of community, the wholesomeness of earthly produce, and a tinge of spirituality that wraps around you like the night air. What a delightful realization. Loneliness, intertwined with gratitude, is like the most comforting woven quilt, embellished with golden aspirations and the colorful threads of human connection. You smile, feeling the weight of joy wrap around your heart as you drift deeper into your cozy thoughts, falling ever so gently into the embrace of sleep, knowing you've harvested blessings of your own tonight. And just like that, dear friends, we've danced through fields of wheat and submerged ourselves in a tapestry of gratitude, where life's bushels remind us of Allah's infinite generosity. Every quiet moment of solitude is an invite to introspection, a hidden gift waiting to be acknowledged. If tonight's journey filled your heart and soul with warmth and serenity, please sprinkle your lovely thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoyed this little adventure. May your dreams tonight be as vibrant as those golden wheat fields, overflowing with the sweetness of gratitude and the ironclad reminder of Allah's divine presence in your lives. Until we meet again on our starry journeys, sweet dreams, and may every quiet moment whisper the blessings you've cultivated within. Chapter 25. The Creative Spark. Salam alaikum, dear friends. Tonight, prepare yourself for something more dazzling than realizing that your favorite slippers have those cozy, fluffy insides. Imagine stepping into a world where art comes to life, where the simplest brushstroke can unveil the universe. And yes, it happens in a place less glamorous than your last vacation spot, but oh, so much more profound. We find ourselves in the enchanting year of 620 CE, in a bustling market town of the Arabian Peninsula, where the aroma of spices competes with the laughter of children playing, and, well, the distant arguments of surprisingly passionate camels. Tonight's journey takes us into the heart of creativity, where the strokes of a brush could shape destinies, much like how you sometimes find a Netflix series that alters your Friday night plans. As we journey through this tale, let me ask you, what do you think an artist in the 7th century felt while creating a mural? Was it like the first sip of coffee in the morning, way too hot but somehow still delightful? Or perhaps a little more akin to eating soup directly from the bowl, familiar yet slightly chaotic? And why did no one ever tell them that painting in black ink on a white wall was less showy than a disco ball at a wedding? Congratulations! You've just woken up in a lively artisan workshop where the clatter of pottery and the hum of creativity float through the air like the sweet sound of a loved one calling your name from across a crowded room. You blink, your senses awakening to the sights and sounds around you. Vivid colors leap from the walls, and the smell of fresh paint wraps around you like a warm embrace. Before you lies a talented artist, brush in hand, who is on a mission more vibrant than a toddler's drawing after their very first art class. As his brush touches the grand wall, the geometric patterns, like intricate puzzles looking for a solution, begin to dance and glow. Each stroke is not just a mark, but a reflection of the divine creativity that you and I could only dream of unleashing. Now, you might chuckle at the idea of a mural representing divine inspiration. Picture this: altar boys of geometric angles and swirling spirals giggling under a khaki-style canvas, eagerly awaiting their turn to shine in the spotlight, almost like the final seconds before the final slice of pizza goes round the table. Ah, yes, the satisfaction of seeing the image come together, a burst of creativity far too dazzling for the mere mortals feasting their eyes. Let's talk about what makes this scene so captivating. The artist, with eyes brightened by passion, carefully pays tribute to the designs that echo through the heavens, patterns representing the infinite, the sublime symmetry that weaves the fabric of creation itself. Each swirl, each twist, is a reminder that Allah is the creator. And you, yes you, right there in your cozy blanket, are a reflection of his artistry. Absurd, isn't it? As if the universe dripped a bit of glitter onto your soul. But, dear friends, imagine if the artist's brush slipped. What could he possibly say? Well, I meant to create something celestial, but it turns out I'd just drawn a very elaborate lizard instead. In that moment of potential mishap, it becomes clear. Sometimes creativity is about the unexpected, and the joy found even in the most outlandish patterns, even if it looks suspiciously like a cosmic creature straight out of an obscure bedtime story. You can't help but smile at the interplay of light and shadow on the wall. The artist giggles to himself, perhaps feeling a little like a scientist unveiling the formula to happiness. Maybe this wall could use a zebra-striped celestial fish, because why not? He mused, chuckling at the absurdity. And perhaps therein lies the heart of creativity, to embrace moments of ludicrousness and project them into the world around you. As you lean closer to the mural, you realize it isn't merely about visuals. It's a dance of spirituality, a medium through which the divine speaks. People gather around, much like yoga enthusiasts flocking to a new wellness trend, seeking meanings beyond the obvious. Did you see that swirl? It resembles hope. Or was it a question mark? They ponder. It's almost a form of meditation, each character tracing back to Allah as they engage with the brilliant colors of faith. As the sun starts to dip below the horizon,
Casting long shadows, the artist retreats to admire his work. The mural glistens in the evening light, transforming into a beacon of inspiration. You take a moment to absorb the scene and understand that this experience is infused with deeper significance, inviting your spirit to settle and reflect. Remember, it's in these moments of serene creativity, when you feel drawn to the pencil, the paint, or even the humble act of journaling, that you truly connect with Allah's infinite beauty. It's as if you're holding hands with the divine. Laughable, right? But like that awkward dance move you can't resist trying at a wedding, embracing this connection becomes vital to your spiritual journey. So, as you lay here, dreaming of illuminated patterns and divine creativity, may you carry the warmth of this beautiful mural into the quiet corners of your heart and mind. Remember, whenever you feel lonely, that moment might just be Allah whispering, "Go ahead, paint your world." Let the colors vibrate back and forth like stories waiting to be told as you drift off into your beautiful dreams. What a delightful realization. Creativity is that spark ignited through the solitude, and loneliness sometimes serves as the backdrop for Allah's grand designs. Sometimes, dear friend, the greatest journeys begin with colors and patterns you never knew you needed. And just like that, dear friends, we have traversed the creative realms where divine artistry springs from. Loneliness, like wildflowers after the rain. We have witnessed how the brushstrokes of an artist unveil the beauty of Allah's creation, just as each of us has a role to play in this grand tapestry of life. If tonight's journey filled your heart and spirit with vibrant colors and serene whispers, please do share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoyed this delightful adventure. May your dreams unfold like the intricate patterns of that mural, bringing themes of creativity, connection, and contentment, lighting up your path as you slumber. Until we meet again on our starry journeys, sweet dreams, and may every quiet moment echo the gifts of creativity Allah has bestowed upon you. And so, as this day from the past finally draws to a close, we're left with a quiet sense of awe. We've walked through a world where survival was never guaranteed, where exhaustion was ordinary, and where even the simplest tasks demanded patience, strength, and a bit of stubborn humor. From aching bodies to uncertain nights, from small victories to absurd hardships, simply making it to bedtime was an achievement worth honoring. It's easy to smile now at some of the strange solutions, awkward customs, and everyday inconveniences they endured. But beneath that humor lived a deep resilience. These people adapted, endured, laughed when they could, and carried on when they had to. They built lives with limited comfort, limited knowledge, and very little certainty, yet they kept going. Their persistence quietly shaped the world we now rest within. And as you lie here, safe and warm, it's worth pausing to notice what surrounds you. Clean water within reach, a soft place to sleep, light at the flick of a switch, peaceful silence instead of constant labor or danger. These comforts, so ordinary today, would have felt like miracles to those we've just visited. Let that gratitude settle gently, not as a heavy thought, but as a calming warmth. You don't need to do anything with it, just let it be there. The struggles of the past can stay in the past now. Their stories have been told, their endurance remembered, and you are allowed to rest. So loosen your shoulders, slow your breathing, let the day fade away. You've made it through another night, with far more ease than most who came before you. Sleep peacefully.